across the central portions of the state Saturday night into Sunday.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says you won't see a lot of it, though, but temperatures will be hovering around freezing. An Uber driver was shot after picking up a fare in Indianapolis late Wednesday night, and a woman has been arrested. Kurt Darling reports.
Police say Marco Batista was heading to where he was supposed to pick up a man along Winthrop Avenue on the north side. It's said that Batista arrived and a man got in and immediately told him to drive off. That's when shots were fired into the back of his car. One of the shots hit Batista. He's recovering now at a hospital. Police say that the shots were fired by Rakisha Rogers. She's been arrested and is awaiting formal charges. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indy Metro Police are investigating after a girl accidentally shot herself in the stomach this morning. Officers say she's elementary aged and was taken to Riley Children's Health for emergency surgery. Police said that she was stable after that surgery this morning, but still in critical condition. Investigators say the girl was shot while in her bedroom with a sibling while their mom was in the living room. That shooting still under investigation by police. The driver who crashed his car into an apartment building at Carmel this morning was ID'd as Michael Gent, a junior at Carmel High School. Carmel police say the 16-year-old was taken to the hospital with serious injuries and was the only person in the car. That crash is still under investigation. They have to pay up for the mess they caused. That's the word from Transportation Secretary and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg talking about Southwest Airlines.
They are now required to cover lodging, to cover ground expenses, to cover hotels for these delays and cancellations that were their responsibility.
Buttigieg on Fox's special report with Brett Baer. Southwest blames the cancellations on winter weather, while some experts blame outdated technology. Hundreds of flights in the Hoosier State were canceled over Christmas weekend. The Biden administration is investigating. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late-night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Seminars Thursday, January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30, stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. And Saturday, January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m., stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
All right, Harrison, southbound. Benford Boulevard is closed at 75th Street because of a crash that has us backed up on 269 all the way to 96th Street. Traffic is stopped. May want to consider Allisonville Road instead. Traffic sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. For 50 years, Invisible Fence brand has offered custom training for each pet on their systems, resulting in a 90% success rate and more than 3 million pets protected. Learn more at InvisibleFence.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Cloudy, a few flurries, chilly temperatures today, a high of around 37. Mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight, and quiet, a low down to 30. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Of course, keeping our eye on the Speaker of the House, the voting. A lot of flips today for Kevin McCarthy. People that didn't vote for him yesterday now flipping their vote, voting for him today. Always going to keep a close eye on that as this develops today and over the weekend.
So today couldn't be considered a good day for Matt Gaetz. Now, whether it's fair or not, Matt Gaetz has kind of become the face of this movement to keep Kevin McCarthy out of the Speaker of the House position.
Like 20 of them, yeah. 20.
Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, and a few others. But Matt Gaetz has been the most outspoken. The rumors that were circulating this morning was that late last night, a little let's make a deal was being done with Kevin McCarthy. Now, this is just what's being talked about a little scuttlebutt on the interwebs, if you will. And what's in this deal is unknown. What we do know is that Chip Roy was asking for some rule changes. And again, Chip Roy from Texas, one of these 20 folks that were voting against Kevin McCarthy.
Every time I hear Chip, I think of the grandpa on Talladega Nights. You gonna let your son talk to their grandfather like that? I'm their elder. I sure as hell am, Chip. I love the way they're talking to you.
I'm gonna come at you like a spider monkey. Chip Roy, he wanted amendments to some of the bills, and Matt Gaetz wanted this rule that the bills would only have one major subject. So no more trying to squeeze some bull crap in the bill and then passing it through like in an omnibus. Now, no word yet whether or not those concessions were met, but a lot of folks have flipped their vote today. And if this continues, Kevin McCarthy is just a handful of votes away from being confirmed as Speaker of the House.
I don't know about like Gaetz and some of these other guys that immediately, they stand up and will nominate Donald J. Trump and then turn around and walk out and immediately go on TV. It's kind of shady to me in some respects. I understand they're trying to get what they want, and they want more power for Congress. I mean, Nancy Pelosi was a ball buster. Like she had a lot of things in there that they want to change this time around. One of them being like for example, one of the concessions was like if they wanted to get rid of Pelosi under her tenure, then they would have had to, like, half the Democrats would have had to vote for it, and just to get it on the floor. Now they want that changed to just one person. If they want a motion to vacate that seat for Kevin McCarthy, one congressman could go down there and put it up for a vote.
And
so
really,
that's just an example of some of the other concessions. Probably more seats on committees for Freedom Caucus members. Just as a quick example.
Really, that's all Republicans are wanting. They're wanting somebody to represent Republicans the way that the old lady represented the Democrats.
Yeah.
Listen, say what you want about Nancy Pelosi. You might not like her, but if you are somebody that's super liberal and somebody that is a Democrat, you have to love what you got out of Nancy Pelosi. She impeached your arch enemy twice in the House, and every piece of radical left-wing bullcrap, she shoved it right down Republicans' throats. All Republicans are looking for is a little payback here. Somebody that will do the same, not somebody that will sign off on some of these bills that Pelosi would give 2 geriatric thumbs up to. Here's Matt Gaetz.
This is a new thought we're going to have. We have a 5-seat majority. So it's not one side's going to get more than another. It's the entire conference is going to have to learn how to work together. So it's better that we go through this process right now so we can achieve the things we want to achieve for the American public, what our commitment was. So if this takes a little longer and it doesn't meet your deadline, that's okay, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And if we finish well, we'll be very successful.
Sorry, that's Kevin McCarthy, not Matt Gaetz right there, talking about the process and why it's taking so long. The one thing that I'm not hearing from McCarthy, though, Nige, is why he's the best man for this job.
Lots of best men for this job. It's not like he's the only one that could do it.
No, but I'm not hearing his case, right? If I saw Kevin McCarthy walk up to the podium and say, you know what, I want to do this. I'm the best, the most qualified person because of this. And he lays out his case. I'd have a little bit more respect for the dude. But right now, he's just saying that he feels like he's waited his time. Almost like Shooter McGavin and Happy Gilmore. It's Shooter's time. It's Shooter's turn. Well, just because you've waited your time doesn't necessarily mean that you should be the next person selected. But it looks like the momentum is on his side. More than a dozen Republicans have flipped today, and we will keep an eye on that story. Hey, you want to hear someone stupid?
Yeah, our audience tuned in for that. They're listening to us right now. Sure.
If you want to hear someone stupid, turn up your radio, because here's Mara Gay from the New York Times on MSNBC.
Fox News's impact not only on the Republican Party, but actually also on Republican voters. I mean, what must the voters who sent these individuals to Washington think of our government?
Right.
If this is who they sent. I mean, when you talk to some of these individuals, you get a sense that, well, politicians are all crooks anyway, and the government's a joke anyway, or, you know what, let's burn it to the ground. And really, that's what these people were sent to do, or to make a mockery of it. I mean, the other element here you touched upon a couple minutes ago, which is just that some of these individuals were people who were really only elected based on a litmus test to stop the tide of diversity in the country, the browning of America, the fears that surround that.
I can't take her vocal fry. She talks like this, and stopping the diversity.
So if you're keeping score at home, according to Mara Gay of the New York Times, don't you dare have questions about the United States government. You're a horrible person if you question anything that the government is doing right now. And oh, by the way, you're a racist.
Heard a lot of that going around.
You're a racist. And hey, speaking of racist on MSNBC, here's Joy Reid.
Republicans love to talk about black people in two specific ways. The first way is to boost the identity politics while patting themselves on the back, which of course clears the way for their favorite tactic of misusing the words of a civil rights icon. Cue the one MLK quote they know.
We do not seek to judge people by the color of their skin, but rather the content of their character.
Ah, yes, we've reached the quote MLK portion of the program. Never mind that Donald's supports voter suppression efforts, which disproportionately hurt black Americans. But since when do details matter? Any black guy will do, especially one who's very nice, big in stature, and goes along with the program.
Please tell me more about this voter suppression I keep hearing so much about, especially in Georgia, how they've had record turnout from whites, blacks, and everybody else. Record turnout in places like Georgia where these laws are in place.
Please spare me the accusations of identity politics when it comes to Republicans. Democrats are the party of identity politics. That's all they care about is checking off boxes. Okay, please. That was so, I mean, I rolled my eyes. You can probably hear me rolling my eyes when she said that.
You're so right. Look at the movers and shakers of the Democratic Party. Kamala Harris was selected as the vice president. Why? Because she's not white and she's a woman, even though she hates Joe Biden. Like, she hates Joe Biden.
Sure. I mean, she called him a racist in the Democratic primaries.
Some of your folks that were...
now you're working for the guy.
to be faces of the military. You've got men who dress as women, who steal luggage from the airports. Yeah. That's a separate story. You've got Mayorkas. Well, he checks a certain box. He was picked to lead Homeland Security, and he's a disaster. Look what's happening at the southern border right now. It's so bad, even Kamala won't go down there. So, yeah, Joy Reid, let's pump the brakes a little bit on talking about identity politics. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Southbound Benford Boulevard is closed right now at 75th because of a crash, and man, does that have a backup all the way onto I-69 and then to East 96th Street. Lots of people exiting at 82nd right now as they get that opportunity to do that. But again, southbound Benford shut down right now at East 75th because of a crash. Traffic is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
It's 36 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. And coming up next, we have an update on that injured Buffalo Bills player, and a familiar voice will return to this program.
Oh, okay.
Just going to leave it at that. A familiar voice will return. We'll talk to somebody you guys probably know if you've listened to this program. We'll have that conversation next.
Tony Katz.
They don't stop. They don't rest. They don't quit. They don't care how much they lie to you. In the city of Indianapolis, you've got a statement from Joe Hogsett saying, hey, doing great on the violence, guys. Good year on the violence. You want to make the claim that the city is safer? You're ridiculous.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Planning for retirement all comes down to what matters most for you. Is it a vacation home? Is it traveling the globe? You could call the team at Howard Bailey Financial to help you plan for your retirement and to help you have a successful and fulfilling retirement. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people, and I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
The Howard Bailey team possesses credibility at both an ethical and professional standpoint. They will deliver you a customized framework that allows you to create the meaning of retirement. Whatever you visualize retirement to be, let the Howard Bailey team customize a plan specifically for you. If you're ready for your best retirement, come forward and see the Howard Bailey difference.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Get ready to celebrate the birthday of the King of Rock and Roll. And you're all invited as Omar presents the Elvis Tribute Artist Spectacular. Sunday, January 8th at the Egyptian Room at Old National Center, Indianapolis. Starring Sean Clutch, Ryan Pelton, and introducing Moses Snow with special guest, the legendary Blackwood Quartet. Tickets are on sale now, so come celebrate Elvis's birthday. Visit etaspectacular.com today.
President Trump has announced, and Ron DeSantis is rising fast. Who do you support for 2024? Newsmax wants to know what you think. Vote in the Newsmax poll. Just text the word RESPOND to 39747. That's RESPOND to 39747. It takes just seconds. Text RESPOND to 39747. Let your voice be heard. And watch Newsmax today. Texting enrolls for automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today. Based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
You should be recycling all of your old computers and electronics. Let Technology Recyclers teach you how. R2 certified, veteran owned. Visit Technology Recyclers on the web.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Yeah, man, good news. They took the breathing tube out of Demar Hamlin's mouth and throat. He's able to breathe on his own, talk to his family. I believe I saw somewhere that he FaceTimed his fellow teammates. That's good news, man.
That's,
I mean, for a guy that just collapsed on the field and your heart stopped beating to... being intubated, not exactly knowing how how it was going to turn out, to FaceTiming your teammates a couple of days later is incredible.
And hat tip to the medics and first responders that saved that young man's life. Because I keep hearing about how the announcers did such a great job. Oh, Joe Buck and Ryan Clark.
They handled it so well.
Scott Van Pelt handled it so well. That's such a media thing to do, for media people to praise other media people. How about the dude that gave CPR on the field? The guy that nobody knows who his name is? Clue. Or the ambulance driver that backed that big mamma jamma up to the middle of the field and sped to the hospital, probably making the least amount of money of anybody involved. These are the heroes of this story, man. And again, the miracle of modern medicine. We live in a great country, man, that this dude allegedly didn't have a heartbeat on the field for at least a little bit, and now he's FaceTiming with teammates and talking to his teammates again by the end of the week.
Are they still saying that Indy could be in play for that AFC title game? Because they canceled the game. They're not replaying. They canceled the Bengals Buffalo game. They had playoff implications.
Right. So the NFL owners are having a big powwow today, like a big Zoom meeting, and they're talking about what they want to do with home field advantage. And there's a theory out there. It hasn't been approved yet, but there's a theory out there that if they want to do neutral site games as a make good, because that game that got canceled had home field advantage ramifications involved, that Indianapolis could be in the mix for the places that host a neutral site playoff game or AFC championship game. So we'll see. I know the Kansas City Chiefs, they're probably not in a real big hurry to sign up for something like that because they, could have had home field advantage without whatever happened in that game. So a lot of drama, but I would love to see Indy host a game like that. Heck, bring more people to the city, spend some money at our bars and restaurants, knock yourselves out. For this next story, I'm going to need a little mood music. That would be the theme music of one Vince McMahon.
Doing the billionaire strut.
So this was a story in the Wall Street Journal, okay? This wasn't some sort of wrestling bit or part of the storyline on WWE. This is in the Wall Street Journal, Fox News, the New York Post. Vince McMahon, who left being in charge of the WWE a couple months back because there were some sexual harassment shenanigans.
Oh, some hush money stuff going on?
Some hush money stuff going on.
I thought he was in bad health.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Well, now I guess he's back as the member of the board of directors after that scandal, and he's planning to sell off the company, like screwing over his daughter, who's kind of running it right now, Stephanie McMahon. So we figured who better to break down this big story in the world of professional wrestling than our old producer, TKW, who joins us on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Kyle Wells.
Kyle Wells, how are you?
Hammer, Nigel, first and foremost, Happy New Year, and thank you for having me back. I miss you guys.
We miss you, Kyle, and we're glad to see you're doing well at Wrestling Inc. You're one of the hosts for the content they're doing. So take me through what's happening with this Vince McMahon story here. Is he screwing over his own daughter?
Well, Vince didn't screw Brett. Brett screwed Brett. Little throwback there. But, man, I'll tell you what, the past 24 hours have been really wild in the world of professional wrestling. There are so many rumors just flying around and rampant. Is Vince going to sell the company? Is Vince going to come back and be a character? Is Vince going to enter in the Royal Rumble? Man, it is pandemonium out here, and we're going to find out more here as the day progresses. WWE is going to hold a meeting relatively soon, so we should know a lot more as the day goes on. But, man, it is really sounding like Vince McMahon might do the unthinkable and sell the company. And I think it's because he's no longer really a part of the company, so if he can't have it, nobody else can. You're fired.
Is that what this really is about? Like, they kicked him out. I mean, it was, hey, take your scandals, take your scumbag lifestyle, get the hell out of here. We want your daughter, Stephanie, and Triple H to run this company. Well, now he's coming back in like this hostile takeover, and it sounds like he wants to burn the whole thing to the ground.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, as a loyal WWE guy, and I bombarded you guys with this for the past 5 years.
Oh, we know.
The product went stale there. But ever since Vince stepped away and Stephanie and Triple H have been running the company, they have resurrected WWE. They've given it a little shot, so to speak. Shot to the ass, as Donald Trump would once say to Joe Biden. And they've been doing a great job.
Hold on, Hammer. You tell me, you were just at a WWE event on Monday. How was it? The Monday Night Raw in Nashville.
So
Did
I'm
you
a
have fun?
casual fan, right? I don't follow it as closely, obviously, as Kyle does. I watch the pay-per-views with my kids and things like that, but it was fun. And Kyle's right. The storylines have been so much better since Vince McMahon left. It's been fun. They've developed new characters. I've been on board with it. But Kyle, can you answer this question? If you're somebody that enjoys the product right now, is there any danger of that being completely screwed and taken away?
I would definitely be worried, especially if I'm one of the WWE superstars, especially the ones that Vince fired, that Triple H brought back, because now there's a possibility that they might get fired again or let go. It's so crazy, and I have no idea what Vince is going to do, but I would not be surprised if he does get the right deal from, I don't know, Disney, NBC, Amazon Prime. All it takes is the right amount of money, and Vince will make the deal. I mean, he's back on as one of the board members,
right?
But it's...
Hey, Kyle, what's the relationship like between Stephanie, his daughter, who runs the company now, and Vince? Do they have bad blood?
There's got to be something going on there where, Christmas was probably not very fun for the McMahon family this past holiday season. I think there probably is some tension there between Vince and Stephanie and Triple H, because Triple H and Stephanie obviously want to keep the company within the family, but if Vince sells it, then the company is no longer in the McMahon family. So I would think that there would be some bad blood there between Vince and Stephanie.
How are you doing, man?
Yeah, man. What have you been up to?
I'm doing great, fellas. Wrestling Inc., this is a dream job. Every day is an adventure walking in here. I get paid to talk about wrestling, and I get to host wrestling videos that you can watch.
Do you miss
Snapchat.
working with this show?
Yes, actually I do. I miss you guys. It's a whole different animal. It's a little more peaceful here at Wrestling Inc. But
is there a wrestling ring and Wrestling Inc.? Like, is there like a wrestling ring where you guys can go and like wrestle each other at lunchtime?
It's funny you say that, Nigel, because I have been influencing Wrestling Inc. to get a wrestling ring up here.
Good for you.
Media.
Good for you, Kyle.
And I have been spreading my wrestling all over the place. So hopefully one day there will be a wrestling ring up here.
One more time before we let you go here. Again, Kyle Wells of Wrestling Inc., one of their hosts and content gurus. Give us one more good background laugh before we let you go, Kyle. There we go. TKW, we appreciate you.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, love you guys. I'll see you.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's. 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 Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%
Hammer and Nigel,
Biden.
podcasts. Listen to the station live whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Signs of progress. Cloudy and 36 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. You've got a clear radar, too. The low's going to fall to the mid-20s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. The House is still trying to elect a speaker for the fourth straight day. On the 13th ballot, Kentucky Congressman James Comer nominated Kevin McCarthy.
I rise on behalf of the Republican Party to nominate Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the 118th Congress.
Even though Republicans have a majority, McCarthy has failed to get the votes needed to become Speaker. However, some votes have started to flip his way today. Buffalo Bills safety Demar Hamlin is awake, breathing on his own, and talking to teammates over FaceTime.
It was a little bit hard to hear, but he, as you'd imagine, he said, I love you, boys.
Bills head coach Sean McDermott. Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest after a hit to the chest while playing against the Bengals Monday night. That game was suspended. The NFL announced it won't be made up. Police have arrested a man for a December 28th homicide on Alsuda Court. Sasha Nixon has more.
IMPD officers went to Alsuda Court after learning that someone had been shot. There, they found Joshua Hobson, who was pronounced dead by Indy's Emergency Medical Services. Detectives have now arrested Emmanuel Newman in connection with the shooting. IMPD did not say what exactly had led them to Newman as a suspect. If you know anything about this, please call the IMPD Homicide Office or contact Crime Stoppers. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You can expect a weekend filled with a light mix of rain and snow. After that, it's going to warm up.
As we get into next week, we're going to be warmer than normal. We're talking temperatures in the low to mid-40s across the state, and that kind of stays there all week.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. Some places might get some rain next week, but not a whole lot of it is expected. The average price for gas today is $3.21 for a gallon of unleaded, according to GasBuddy.com. That's the highest average price for gas since December 11th. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Well, it's a great honor. It's obviously not the reason I volunteer, but it's nice.
Meet Chuck Bouillou, retired registered nurse, volunteer at Meals on Wheels, and another Jiffy Lube Do More winner.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Jennifer Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are rewarding Hoosier volunteers who use their vehicle to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
Satisfying that I know that at least that day they will get a meal, maybe even 2 meals.
Each month, Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides a volunteer free vehicle maintenance for a year, whether it's someone who delivers smiles and supplies or drives somewhere to serve on site. Jiffy Lube supports local givers who count on their car to do more for Indy, and we love to hear their stories.
We get an oil change every couple months. It's nice.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
With traffic at 4:34, here's Matt Bear.
Southbound Benford has reopened at 75th with the left lane blocked. Still a little bit slow going through the area. Now we are stopped coming southbound 69 because we had a secondary crash at 82nd Street. That's also blocking the left lane. Stopped back to East 96th. East side southbound 465 slows from 70 down to 74. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy and cool tonight. We'll see lows fall to 30. Some sunshine on your Saturday before clouds increase late. We'll also see a wintry mix possible later in the afternoon and evening. Highs near 42. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Hammer is just awful. I mean, like the first few homicide victims here in Indianapolis of 2023 have all been teenagers. I mean, I can't even believe it. We just talk about it so matter-of-factly, you know. Like it's really should be. It's just a blight on our city. The first 3 homicides of 2023 in Indianapolis are teenagers.
When you look at the numbers, 14 people shot, 4 stabbed, and this is just in a total of 5 days, because today's the 6th. We don't have all the information for today yet. So in 5 days, 14 shot, 4 stabbed, 3 teenage homicides. You had a 17-year-old Brandon Banks, who was killed on Ingram Street yesterday. On January 2nd, 15-year-old James Martin died. And on January 3rd, 16-year-old Michael Mason Jr. was shot and killed at the Castleton Square Mall. Unacceptable. I mean, any homicide age is unacceptable.
I was
but
ready to say, but the fact that they were teenagers, man.
100% of our homicides this year, all under the age of 18. That's so disturbing. Now, we do have a little bit of an update on that Castleton Square Mall shooting that took place. From what we're hearing, a mistaken car led to the shooting that led to the death of the 16-year-old and a 21-year-old being shot. So you had two people coming out of the mall, 21-year-old and a 16-year-old, and I've done this before. You see a car that looks like yours, and you try to open up the door.
Yeah, I've done that before.
That sounds like what happened here, and somebody was inside of that car and fired shots and killed the 16-year-old.
Michael Mason Jr.
And injured the 21-year-old. The 21-year-old man still recovering from his wound, but Michael Mason Jr. was shot and killed. Now, the 21-year-old's father, Eddie Smith Sr., he's a local pastor here in Indianapolis. He spoke to Wish TV.
This was basically a kid, a 16-year-old kid, grabbing the door handle and trying to get into a car that's identical to my son's car, and this kid being gunned down.
I did this just a couple weeks ago, man. I was coming out of Kroger, and there was a car that was just like mine. And I'm looking at my phone, carrying the bag, not paying attention, and I almost try to open the door of the wrong car.
So that was the father of the one that survived, the 21-year-old?
Correct. Now, police initially said that an altercation took place in that parking lot before the shots were fired. But again, the pastor, Eddie Smith Sr., tells Wish TV that's not what his son said.
From inside the car, just unloaded on him and then got out, shot him some more while he was down, and then began to chase after my son. And when he caught my son had to crawl into a fetal position, a ball. Again, there was absolutely nothing, no ill intent, no ill will. There wasn't an altercation. This guy murdered a kid.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredibly bad luck. I don't know who this guy is that was sitting in the car. Did he think he was being attacked in some way?
Carjacked? To shoot somebody through the window seems like a little bit of an overreaction, isn't it?
Obviously, absolutely should be charged with murder.
Now, I've heard a lot of people say,
I don't get
what was going on with the 21-year-old and 16-year-old. Were they up to no good? Did they start a fight in the parking lot? Now, again, this is from the 21-year-old's father, Pastor Eddie Smith Sr. He says that his son is part of a mentor program, and they were at the mall. He was at the mall with his mentor project, the 16-year-old, just hanging out, having some food, and then they were leaving, and that's when everything turned to hell.
He kind of likes taking young guys under his wing. He went to state in wrestling. All-American. He played lacrosse, and just an all-around good kid. And, for this to happen is, to be going to the mall, to grab something to eat and to hang out, and to not make it home is just unacceptable.
It just shows you crazy random stuff could happen at any time, especially if you're not necessarily paying attention. I don't lay the blame on the 16-year-old at all, though. I really don't. If what this guy is saying is true, then the guy, you accidentally open somebody's car door thinking it's yours, and the reaction is to pull out a gun and kill him.
And according to the father, chase the other person down, almost like you're hunting the other person. Again, that's one side of the story. Police initially said there was an altercation, so I don't know exactly what's going on here.
They have the guy?
Well, no arrest has been made. Police held the man who fired the shots as a person of interest, and it's not clear if that person is still in custody or not, or if charges are going to be filed. So if we find that information out, we will certainly pass that on to you. Do you believe this? According to Newsweek, Russia claims to have shot down a UFO this past week, Nige.
Really? They got to distract from the fact that their invasion of Ukraine is an abject disaster, so they're bragging about a UFO.
Russia
shooting.
claims to have brought down a UFO in the southern Russian region of Rostov. The governor wrote on Telegram that the UFO was, quote, a small-sized object in the shape of a ball and flying roughly 1.5 miles high on January 3rd. The object was spotted. A decision was made to shoot it down. This is all according to the same Newsweek report. Now, there is some video. You can search on Twitter and find Russian UFO. There is something in the sky, but, I mean, this is not that far from the Ukrainian border. It's 100 miles from the Ukrainian border. There's a war going on. Hell, it could have been anything. I have no idea.
Missile.
Could have been a missile.
Here's the other thing about every piece of footage I've seen of UFOs is taken by the military. Back in the early 2000s, they call it the Tic Tac video. There's no way you're shooting that thing down. It's too quick and too mobile, and there's no way any piece of human technology could have taken down something like that. So for Russia to say they shot a UFO down, it's like I'm rolling my eyes.
In the video, it looks like their version of the Patriot missile or whatever it is.
I'm watching it right now.
Goes up into the sky, and something like a gnat almost is flying around, and it almost runs into it. And you see this little bitty explosion, but I would feel like if that stuff came crashing down to the earth, somebody would have had pictures of that, right? Because if you've got pictures of the whole thing happening in the sky, why wouldn't you have pictures of whatever landed on the ground? I don't know. But this is the story that the Russians are giving Newsweek, that they shot down a UFO. We've got Kylan as our producer today. Miss Kylan, can I get some mood music, please? Big night tonight, Nige. The Mega Millions drawing around 11 o'clock tonight.
Billion?
$940 million. Close to $1 billion. 940. So if you win, would you take the cash state settlement, like the big one lump sum, which they take a crap ton away from you, but you get a lot of money, boom, there it is? Or do you want the annual payments?
I've always heard that you're supposed to take the lump sum, but I've also heard an argument for the payments that will never run out. So if you're an idiot and you spend all however much you get from the government after taxes, like $500 million, which people have been known to do, lotteries have ruined people's lives and relationships. Maybe, I've heard a case for the annual payouts. Because at least then you have a set amount, you know what you're coming in, and you know how much to spend every year.
And I don't know the answer to this, but if you die, can you will that to somebody? Or does the payment stop at that point? Because if I'm somebody older or if I'm somebody that's not in good health, then I'll take the one lump sum. How ticked off do you think people would be if Elon Musk won it tonight?
Or Donald Trump.
Elon Musk or Donald Trump won the $940 million Mega Millions jackpot tonight. I don't even need the money. He puts it out on Twitter.
He lights the ticket on fire.
Well, some people say he lit, all that money on fire when he bought Twitter. So we'll see. In honor of the big drawing tonight, the Hammer and Nigel Show proudly bring to you great moments and local TV reporters talking about the lottery history.
Hammer and Nigel present great moments and local TV reporters asking people about the lottery history.
Hey, what's the very first thing you're going to do? Man, I think I'll try to get me a shrimp boat, go into business. Because, it's kind of been a shortage on the fishermen down there, and I ain't really no work around here, man. I was supposed to go play college ball, man, but Quit school, man. Broke up with that girlfriend of mine. She started cheating on me, man.
Great moments and local TV reporters asking people about the lottery history.
And this little TV reporter guy. All right, good luck, sir.
You sound like Boomhauer from King of the Hill. And by the way, that's an actual rational thing to do. I mean, that surprised me a little bit. It wasn't like I got to buy a bunch of hookers and cocaine. No, I'm going to start a business and buy a shrimp boat.
That he also had to flame the cheating girlfriend
yeah.
as well. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, this is Rob.
And this is Casey.
Do we finally have a speaker?
Monday, join us 9 until noon on 93 WIBC.
Every small business owner knows business happens everywhere. The office, the warehouse, or on the road. And no matter where it takes you, there's one solution to help your business thrive. Comcast Business Complete Connectivity. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network with advanced gig speed Wi-Fi and cyber threat protection in one solution. Plus, add Comcast Business Mobile and you can save up to 60% a year on your wireless bill. Get started for just $40 a month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add mobile. And ask how to get up to a $750 prepaid card.
Flight 291 is now boarding.
Yep, you're going places. And when you get there, be ready to do business. The complete connectivity solution from the company that powers more small businesses than any other provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/21/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New 100 megabits per second internet and Comcast Business Security Edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig internet required for gig Wi-Fi. Mobile savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers.
Buy 4 tires and get up to $200 in savings after rebate at Bell Tire's year-end sale. Or get even more in Bell Tire gift cards. December 26th through January 7th. Plus, get tires as low as $49 after rebate. Get up to $200 in savings. Or get even more in gift cards. December 26th through January 7th. Get up to $200 in savings. And choose the lowest tire price period at Bell Tire. 100 years of getting folks safely back on the road fast and affordably. See store or belltire.com for details. Restrictions apply.
Home shows provide homeowners the deepest discounts of the year on remodeling projects. And right now, Window Nation is bringing the home show savings right into your house. 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, no limit. Plus, pay no interest for 60 months.
Use their free virtual visualizer at windownation.com/home show. Upload a picture of your house and try out hundreds of options online. Get design tips from the experts and learn how Window Nation's trained installation specialists have helped over 150,000 homes with over 96% customer satisfaction rates. But remember, these once-a-year home show savings are for a very limited time. Call Window Nation today, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com/home show. Get 2 windows free with every 2 that you buy. Pay no interest for 60 months. That's 5 full years. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com/home show.
Experience the future of connectivity with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering the fastest speeds in the nation for $49.99 a month. Advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security, free for 12 months. And a Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G, free for 12 months. That's Spectrum One. Visit Spectrum.com or your local Spectrum store today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight guaranteed, only $49.99. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. This hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Thursday, January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking 8 p.m. And Saturday, January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
I don't always black out when I'm drunk.
My kids can't tell that I'm high, so it's okay.
I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink in the morning.
I still have a job, so my drug use isn't a problem.
I can stop using whenever I want.
Don't ignore the signs of addiction. You don't have to wait until it's too late to get help. At Landmark Recovery, we're here to provide affordable and effective addiction treatment. Call 866-LANDMARK or visit landmarkrecovery.com to get help today.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Matthew McConaughey has a look at the roads.
Right. Looking at inbound 69 crash 82nd Street blocking the left lane. As a stop back to East 96th Street. Not a lot of trouble anymore southbound Benford at East 75th. The delay is cleared out. We are still sweeping up the crash with the left lane blocked. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, we've got partly sunny skies. It's going to get cold, though. Going to get down to 25 tonight. 36 right now at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
By the way, keeping an eye on the vote for Speaker of the House. The House, by the way, this is breaking news. The House has voted to adjourn until 10 o'clock tonight.
Oh, come on! Come on!
After what, the 13th or 14th ballot, the House has voted to adjourn until 10. Kevin McCarthy making a statement, who wants that House Speaker role, just came out and said he thinks he will have enough votes tonight when they return. Now, he's up to what? 214? He needs 218.
Right, he's getting closer. There's been a lot of flips today. So the momentum is on the side of the swamp right now. So we'll see what happens when they get back together tonight. Now, did you stay up to watch the end of the Purdue game or any of the Indiana game last night? Never mind.
It was an early night in the Nigel household. 9:30, 10 o'clock was what time the eyes were shut last night. So I didn't really.
How was that an early night for you? That's pretty much every night,
isn't it? It's a late night, actually, to be honest.
Because for those who don't know, we leave here a little bit after 7, and I'll text Nigel probably 8:30, 9. Hey, let's do this bit on the show tomorrow. And I won't hear a damn thing until the morning. That's how I know you're already asleep.
No, I'll usually respond at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I get up to take a leak. And I have to use my phone so I won't trip over anything in my room. And that's when I'll respond.
Well, it was a big win.
I'm glad I didn't stick around for that IU game.
Oh, big win by Purdue.
Yeah.
That was a come-from-behind win, a late-game three-pointer, a good road win against a ranked Ohio State team. Good win for Purdue. And then Indiana played, and they had 13 days to prepare for a short-handed Iowa team that had not won a game in the Big Ten yet, and IU was up by 20-plus points. And I thought, all right, here we go.
Man.
They blew it, and they ended up losing that game in Iowa last night. And keep in mind, it's not like the hostile Iowa crowd was rocking and rolling. The students are still on break. So there was a lot of empty seats in Carver Hawkeye Arena, and the Hoosiers still laid an egg yesterday. Now, toward the end of the game, there was a little heated moment where Iowa's coach, Fran McCaffrey, I mean, this dude is a total red ass. I mean, he just yells all the time.
Yeah.
Face gets beat red. He kind of got into it with the IU bench, and the coaches were talking trash to each other. Like an IU assistant, an Iowa's coach. They initially called a technical foul on Fran McCaffrey of Iowa.
Okay, yeah, probably well-deserved.
The refs got together. They took it away and said, screw it. It's just boys being boys. No technical foul. And this was a big decision late in the game. Well, IU ends up losing by just a couple, and this was IU's head coach, Mike Woodson, after the game.
I'm not even going to comment on that because that's bullshit. Is what it is, and you can print that because again, when you can allow coaches to come across half court into your space, that's bullshit. It is.
The question I wanted to ask you about that, Mike, was. It looked like one of the officials called the technical foul on him.
He did call the tech, and he pulled it back.
Really?
Which was bullshit. Guy should have been thrown out of the goddamn game.
3 BS bombs and a GD all in the span of 30 seconds.
Now, I want to credit Jake Query for this at our sister station, 107.5 The Fan.
Okay.
Full credit where credit was due. It was Jake Query of the morning show that brought this to my attention this morning. Mike Woodson sounds an awful lot like Tone Loke.
Again, when you can allow coaches to come across half court into your space, that's bullshit. It is.
And we go a little something like this. Hit it.
I'm not even going to comment on that because that's bullshit. Is what it is.
Funky coma data.
He's absolutely right.
Is what it is.
I see it now. Hat tip to Jake Query. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
35% bonus when you invest your money. That's right. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's not. And guess what? You'll sleep well at night knowing your money is protected by one of the highest rated insurance companies in the world. It's Terry Stacy, and to learn more about this 35% bonus, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-972-9172. A little diversification outside of the stock market could be a really good thing right about now. But this 35% bonus won't last forever. So call 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
You hear me talk about FanDuel Sportsbook. Love this betting app. I love betting on the NFL because I'm always finding new player or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. It's perfect for this weekend's games. You might take, I don't know, if you are rooting against the Colts to win for a better draft pick, you can take the Texans minus 2.5, combine that with the over, and the running back to score the first touchdown. It's just one of many ways you can build your own same-game parlay. I love FanDuel, too, because when you do win, they get your winnings in your account super fast. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up right now with promo code WIBC for your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's promo code WIBC, and you can make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus at present in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issues non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-9 with it.
It's Jesse Kelly. Why do you think so many countries have huge gold reserves? Gold lasts. The value of gold lasts. How many times have I told you, buy things you can touch and feel because you know the value lasts? There's nothing like precious metals, nothing out there like it. I buy all my gold from Oxford Gold Group. 833-974-1300. They'll deliver it to your front door. Oxford Gold Group.
Kendall and Casey.
The head of NASA worried that China may claim the moon as its own territory and prevent the U.S. from landing there again. So,
it sounds like a Dr. Evil thing. Like somebody's going to claim the moon. How would you even claim the moon?
And if you're there, what are they going to do?
Fire the laser!
Kendall and Casey. Weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
There are 48 million unpaid family caregivers in the United States. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to access a free guide to help navigate your caregiving journey.
Your local news coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
A change of heart for some. I'm Tom Graham, Fox News. Some conservative House members switching their vote and backing Republican leader Kevin McCarthy to be the next speaker. Representative Scott Perry getting cheers, one of those switching. He's with the House Freedom Caucus as McCarthy inches closer to the majority he needs to win the Speaker's gavel. Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill.
There are 4 holdouts here, and at some point Kevin McCarthy is going to have to probably flip one of those 4. Here are the 4. Eli Crane, who is a freshman-elect from Arizona. Matt Rosendale from Montana. We also have Lauren Boebert and Matt Cates. So those are the 4. He's going to have to flip at least 1, maybe 2 of them. It's always going to determine and hinge on how many people cast ballots. At one point, you had David Trone, the Democrat from Maryland, who was out, so that lowered the number. There are 2 Republicans who are out right now. Wesley Hunt, he's out. His wife just had a baby. You also have a medical condition with Ken Buck of Colorado, who left yesterday. He told me yesterday he would be back today.
Well, so far, there have been 13 votes. The House has adjourned until 10 p.m. Many in Washington are marking 2 years since that January 6th riot.
2 years ago, our democracy held.
President Biden holding a ceremony at the White House this afternoon, awarding Presidential Citizens Medals to police officers and others.
We, the people, did not flinch. We, the people, endured.
Earlier, Democrat lawmakers gathered on the Capitol steps to condemn what one called the bloodthirsty mob. In Virginia, one person hospitalized following a shooting today at a Newport News elementary school. Police say no students were injured. On Wall Street, the stocks are in the green. The Dow finishing up 699 points. Let's make it 700. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It depends on where you are. 36 degrees. You got some clouds on Monument Circle. All clear on the radar, though. The low falls to the mid-20s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. This weekend, you might see snow or you could see rain. It all depends on where you live in Indiana.
Generally down the southern portions of the state, it's going to be all rain. And then once you get closer to Lake Michigan, it'll be all snow with this system.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. He doesn't expect there to be a significant amount of rain or snow in those places, but temperatures will be in the 20s or 30s. He thinks it's going to warm up next week. Indy Metro Police are investigating after a girl accidentally shot herself in the stomach this morning. Officers say that girl is elementary aged. She was taken to Riley Children's Health for emergency surgery, and police say she was stable after that surgery this morning, but remains in critical condition. Investigators say the girl was shot while in her bedroom with a sibling while their mom was in the living room. The shooting's still under investigation. The driver who crashed their car into an apartment building in Carmel this morning was ID'd as Michael Gent, a junior at Carmel High School. The police say the 16-year-old was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. They were the only person in the car, and that wreck is still under investigation. Murder for hire, sexual abuse, and witness tampering. John Herrick reports on a Shelbyville man with a long prison sentence.
In 2017, police say Robert Mason Elliott abused a teenage girl and later tried to bring her heroin. That didn't work. He was put in prison. Then he tried to hire a member of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club and later a cartel hitman to kill both the girl and the girl's mother to prevent them from testifying. The cops stopped him again. In a separate incident, another man agreed to buy a gun for Elliott and then falsify the purchasing forms in exchange for a meal at Olive Garden. Elliott gets more than 4 decades in prison. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You are paying an average of $3.21 a gallon for gas today, says Gas Buddy. The last time that average was that high was December 11th. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
2023's here, and does your home have a New Year's resolution? Well, if it's like mine, it could probably use a fresh beginning and a professional clean. In my book, there's nobody better than the professionals at Zero Res. They're my go-to team for cleaning carpets, hardwood floors, ceramic tile and grout, and even area rugs to give it that smart, lasting clean. They always have our place looking its best, and Zero Res is the only company I trust to clean my home. Their proprietary technology cleans your carpets without flooding the carpet padding. That means I can have my house looking its best with dry carpets in just a few hours, not days. Their team of knowledgeable technicians always walk me through the entire carpet cleaning process to make sure I'm completely satisfied before they leave. So start your 2023 off right and give Zero Res a call today to make an appointment. Right now, when you mention WIBC, you get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $139. Call 388-5141 or schedule your appointment at ZeroResIndy.com with promo code ZeroRes1 and treat yourself to a smarter, lasting clean.
The traffic on the 5s at 4:05. Here's Matt Bear.
Harrison southbound 69 at 82nd Street. That is a crash in the fast lane, backing us up to East 96. Now on the east side, southbound 465. Slow 70 to Washington to get Brookville Road down to Arlington Avenue. Eastbound 465, stop and go 65 over to Emerson. Traffic sponsored by Unbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy and cool tonight. We'll see lows fall to 30. Some sunshine on your Saturday before clouds increase late. We'll also see a wintry mix possible later in the afternoon and evening. Highs near 42. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel. You believe these characters are weirdos? On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Oh, man. Voting going on in the House right now. Trying to find that Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, trying to drum up enough votes. The House has voted, and they're adjourning until 10 o'clock tonight.
Oh, come on. So we're going to get the old Friday night news dump. They're going to pick a Speaker of the House about 11 o'clock tonight, and nobody's going to give a damn.
I mean, he's about 4 votes shy of where he needs to be. He's flipped a lot of votes today. And it's curious, like the last vote on the ballot, nobody cast their votes. Like, no opponents nominated anyone for Speaker the second time around today. So maybe interest is flagging here a little bit. It's, of course, you're not going to get Gates or Boebert to flip their votes. I think there's a lot of self-aggrandizing with those two. Like, loves to be in front of the camera, loves the attention, loves to leverage their power to get what they want for personal gain.
Doesn't mean that they're not right, but you're right too. Like, both things can be true. Like, you can not like Kevin McCarthy, but you can also say that Matt Gaetz loves Matt Gaetz. Lauren Boebert loves some Lauren Boebert. Love the TV cameras, love the attention.
But they're on record now as saying by 10 o'clock tonight they'll have enough votes to end this thing. And Kevin McCarthy's wildest dreams can finally come true of being the Speaker of the House.
There, rumors were starting to circulate this morning that McCarthy had cut a deal with some of the holdouts. A lot of the members of the Freedom Caucus, a lot of deals were made because quite a few votes flipped from yesterday to today. But Matt Gaetz will not be one of them. Here is Matt Gaetz on Kevin McCarthy.
You only earn the position of Speaker of the House if you can get the votes. Mr. McCarthy doesn't have the votes today. He will not have the votes tomorrow, and he will not have the votes next week, next month, next year. And so one must wonder, Madam Clerk, is this an exercise in vanity for someone who has done the math, taken the counts, and is putting this institution through something that absolutely is avoidable?
So there's Matt Gaetz, but it sounds like maybe he will be selected later on tonight. Got to get a few more of those votes to flip, and then you will have a Speaker of the House. I mean,
he's had to negotiate, and he's been, I feel like, he's negotiated a lot so far. There's maybe some stuff behind the scenes we still don't know about, but like the one-member motion to vacate where, the threshold needed to force a vote to kick out the Speaker is just one member instead of like half the members as it was under Nancy Pelosi. Keep on talking about the Freedom Caucus and how they won a couple of seats on the House Rules Committee. Term limits, changes to, you were talking about earlier, the appropriations process and some of the pork that's in some of these bills that they try to get passed through. So there's been a lot of negotiating behind the scenes. I got to tell you, man, we always learn in this business, new people are tuning in every 15 to 20 minutes. New people are coming to the show. Other people are tuning out. They're getting home. I'm wondering how many people are actually truly on the edge of their seat, biting their nails, waiting for Kevin McCarthy to be named House Speaker, who's actually paying attention to this stuff as closely as we are.
Be honest with yourselves and answer this. What are you going to be watching at 10 o'clock tonight? The Pacers game, On Patrol Live, or the House Speaker vote?
Probably Yellowstone for me on DVR.
I've made it clear I'm not a fan of McCarthy. I don't think you keep putting the same people in positions of power who keep letting you down, but it almost feels like it's inevitable at this point. So we'll see what happens tonight. They are adjourned, and they'll come back tonight around 10 o'clock, and we'll see if 4 more votes can be flipped in favor of Kevin McCarthy. Kylan, can I please have some mood music?
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
What? Nigel? What's going on here? It's January. I thought we were done with this.
Today is Democrat Christmas. It's January 6th.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Democrats love January 6th more than they like Christmas, certainly more than they like July 4th, which they view as a very racist holiday. This is what they've been waiting for. Keep in mind, this anniversary of what happened at the Capitol a couple of years ago, Kamala Harris, your current vice president, has compared it to both 9/11 and Pearl Harbor.
Wow.
Dates echo throughout history, including dates that instantly remind all who have lived through them where they were and what they were doing when our democracy came under assault. Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941, September 11th, 2001, and January 6th, 2021.
That's an egregious insult to the victims of 9/11 and their families to compare a couple of hundred knuckleheads breaking into the Capitol building, pooping on Nancy Pelosi's podium, and you compare that to Pearl Harbor and 9/11? Shut up, man. You guys were not nearly as worried about the daily riots in this country and in multiple cities going on for weeks at a time. But you have a few hundred knuckleheads, and they were wrong, and they should be arrested and of course, given their time in court. But you got to. I roll my eyes, man. I've been saying that all day. I've been rolling my eyes a lot today. I've had enough of this crap.
Well, then, you better get your eyes adjusted, because here is Karine Jean-Pierre. Ha, ha, ha.
So I'll first say, and you've heard me say this many times, and the president as well, we've been very clear from the beginning that what we saw on January 6th was the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War.
Okay.
You know what I'm watching right now is something pretty abhorrent. I'm watching Ashley Babbitt's mom being arrested on the anniversary of January 6th today, trying to put up a memorial outside the Capitol building for her daughter.
Now, Ashley Babbitt was the only one that was killed of those trying to get into the Capitol. From police officers to the rioters, there was only one death attributed to that day, and it was Ashley Babbitt.
Unarmed Trump supporter, shot at point blank range, veteran, and, people were applauding the police officer that did that. When, trust me, during the riots in the Summer of Love, if there would have been an unarmed social justice rioter break into a police precinct and been shot down, been put down, there would have been extremely different circumstances, right? I didn't see Ashley Babbitt's name on the back of any NBA jerseys.
Kylan, can you turn my computer up here? Would you like to hear your president, your commander-in-chief, talking about the specific date on the calendar today, January 6th? Would you like to hear Joe Biden, Nigel?
Oh, sure.
The impact, what happened on July the 6th, had international repercussions beyond what I think any of you can fully understand.
Did I catch a July the 6th in there?
The impact, what happened on July the 6th, had international repercussions.
July the 6th. Good God almighty, this guy. And again, on January 6th, we're led to believe that a guy in a buffalo suit almost took over the country, right? That's what they want us to believe, that a guy in a buffalo suit and a Viking hat almost became the makeshift president.
The smiling, waving toboggan guy holding Pelosi's podium.
And that was how our country was almost overran. But as you said earlier, Nige, the Summer of Love 2020.
Oh, it was excused by corporate media. It was almost encouraged. Look, mostly peaceful process, billions of dollars worth of damage, but it was mostly peaceful riots. Right?
The protests in late spring were mostly peaceful, but damage from looting and arson will cost $1 to $2 billion in claims. That's according to the Insurance Information Institute.
Mostly peaceful protests. $2
and
billion.
any time one of these folks gets arrested for capital riot-related offenses, the government makes it sound like they just busted El Chapo. Right? They just busted public enemy number one, like the biggest serial killer in the world. And this brings us to O.J. Simpson, because I remember when the first charge was made in the Capitol riots, O.J. was out on the golf course and put this little video together.
From January 6th, one of the guys got convicted, I think, on 4 charges, which is going to be kind of a watershed moment for all the other guys who have been charged. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talking now for the people that say it was a peaceful demonstration. You don't break windows and break locked doors on peaceful demonstrations. I'm just saying.
I mean, the juice. I mean, he would know, right? That's a man that knows his way around the legal system. And it seems like only yesterday that our longtime newsman Stan Lear was working on this program, and we had him read some responses to that video that OJ did out on the golf course.
At Papa ZAO. Hey, Juice, you're a great legal mind. Thank you for your takes. Did you craft this skill over your many hours in a courtroom when facing criminal charges for double murder? At Nico Mattis. Great to see you're still able to slice up the greens, Juice. At Pedro in Calgary. That is some cutthroat commentary, Juice. At Calvin J. 85. Ron and Nicole never got the opportunity to storm the Capitol. At Bob Ragalevich. I think I saw the real killers at the beer cart on the 13th green. At Hurricane Randall. I see OJ is out on the links wearing his lucky stabbing hat.
Stan Lear, ladies and gentlemen, longtime iconic newsman here at WIBC. His legacy remains. Matt Baer, what's going on?
Southbound 69 crash at 82nd Street, left lane blocked, and now the delay has gotten a lot better as we're just a little bit slow back to east at 96th Street. Looking at the east side, southbound 465, that's stop-and-go traffic from 70 down to Arlington, and on the south side, eastbound 465, bumper to bumper, 31 over to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Going back to Joe Biden, talking about that historic thing that happened on July 6th. Courtney tweets at us at Hammer and Nigel. Imagine such a horrible attack on democracy that the president can't remember the date. Right now, we've got partly cloudy skies. It's 36 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Is this anything next?
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight and let Mark Patrick Hypnosis destroy your unwanted cravings. Seminars January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30 p.m., stop smoking 8 p.m. Or January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
It's Jesse Kelly. Why do you think so many countries have huge gold reserves? Gold lasts. The value of gold lasts. How many times have I told you, buy things you can touch and feel because you know the value lasts? There's nothing like precious metals, nothing out there like it. I buy all my gold from Oxford Gold Group. 833-974-1300. They'll deliver it to your front door. Oxford Gold Group.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
It's Terry Stacy, and if you are really ready to take charge of your health and well-being in 2023, make Exercise Inc. a part of your life. Because the truth is, Exercise Inc. will change your life. Research shows that we gain about 5 pounds over the holidays, and then we work really hard for about 6 months to lose it. It's hard to lose extra weight on your own, but with an Exercise Inc. coach by your side, 20 minutes once a week, you'll lose the extra holiday weight much quicker, and you'll get stronger. And not to brag, but I can carry 2 20-pound kitty litter containers all around the store now, no problem. I think you're going to feel better than you ever have in years, and the change begins with that first 20-minute strength training session at Exercise Inc. I think most clients would say Exercise Inc. becomes a really good habit, and they stick with it for years. Try Exercise Inc.'s slow movement strength training method. Do something good for you 20 minutes once a week. Exercise Inc. 4 locations, exerciseinc.com.
A team that brings energy.
Matherin loads a 3. He's got it going.
A crowd that brings electricity.
Nembhard to the goal with a layup.
That's what's going on at Gamebridge Fieldhouse all season long.
Turner blocked the shot. That's number 1,000.
We are revved up.
Catch your Pacers and Charlotte Hornets in a Sunday matinee at 5. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. That's Pacers.com. Pacers Hornets, Sunday afternoon at 5.
Hopefully, you'll never have a house or business fire. But if you do, hopefully, you'll never forget this name, Michaelis. They can be there before that lump in your throat goes away. In fact, they're the reason it goes away. Over 35 years of helping people recover from faulty wiring, lightning strikes, or that unattended pot of pasta on the stove. Michaelis crews often roll in before the fire hoses are rolled up. Their proven process of water extraction, smoke removal, and content storage will calm your nerves. Then their talented craftsmen will rebuild your home and restore your spirits. That starts by being your advocate with the insurance company. You'll find Michaelis doesn't just feel for you, they work for you. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Demar and Nigel presents.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything? On 93 WIBC.
Oh, yeah, Hambone. How do we play Is This Anything?
I'll run stories by you. You simply tell us if they're anything or not. It's pretty simple. Is this anything? 2 guys in Washington State are accused of targeting 4 substations just to commit robbery.
I heard about this.
Couple guys are being blamed by the FBI after analyzing their phone records about this attack on the substations. Here is U.S. Attorney Nick Brown talking about how these types of attacks on these power stations are becoming more common.
There is a heightened concern, certainly in this area of the Northwest, to be on guard for these sorts of attacks. We've seen it in some similar attacks here last year, also down in Oregon. I don't know if there's any connection between any of those incidents, but to see an increase in those overall attacks, it has our attention.
I mean, it's something when you got guys attacking the power grid. You're telling me these guys are just trying to rob a store? That's why they, I saw this story and I'm thinking, oh man, this is some sort of sophisticated, coordinated underground syndicate of radical, violent climate extremists.
Or is this a test run for something bigger
like
plan?
that? Well, no, it turns out these guys are trying to rob a 7-Eleven. I don't know what building they were trying to rob, actually, but it makes me feel a little bit better that it's not some, some organization that's doing this all over the country.
Now, tinfoil hat, do you believe it? Do you believe what the government is telling you here, Nige? Put that tinfoil hat on, because I'm not sure I do.
Nothing to see here, just a couple of guys trying to rob a store.
They just wanted Slurpees, that's why they blew up the substation. Okay, sure, I believe that.
These guys sound like a couple of geniuses. Yeah, we'll just take out the entire power grid so we can break in.
And should I be concerned, though, that it's that easy? Like, again, going back to the whole organized thing, like if this country has some sort of power grid attack, whether it's from China, Russia, whoever, we're in trouble. We've got problems if that goes down.
I was down in Florida when the last night I was down there, it was in mid-March for my wife's birthday. I think it was last year, and an iguana fell into the power lines down there, took out like 4 city blocks.
Oh, no.
So, like, if it's that easy for an animal to get into the power lines and take out an entire square mile, how hard is it, do you think, to take out the power grid?
Right. That's what I'm saying. This is a problem the United States has to fix. Is this anything? This is more of a what would you do in this type of situation. You see 3 bags of white cheddar popcorn dangling in a vending machine.
Ooh, somebody's had a problem.
Do you figure that the 3 people already got ripped off and move on? Or do you think it's about time the machine pays out a 4-for-1 for you?
Oh, yeah. I'm putting more money in. I got to try it again.
A guy posted what happened when he tried going for it. Listen to how it ended.
Gotta try, right? I'm either going to get 3 or I'm going to get none. C3. See what happens.
You've got to be kidding me. I mean, at this point, it can't possibly go any higher, right? It's already touching the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got to.
So 5 are stuck.
Do it again. Here we go. C3.
They got
this
it!
Is absolutely maddening. I'm going to do one more C3. There's no way it doesn't drop in this one, right? All right, everybody. This is it. This is for all the marbles. Here we go. C3.
Come on, baby.
Go. Drop.
It's like a slot machine paying off. Finally got that quarter slot machine to pay off.
So how many times did he have to pay then? Like 2 for 7? It was basically 2 for 7. He put it in 2 or 3 times.
6 bags got trapped, and he ended up paying a little extra, and he got all the bags.
And it's happened to every one of us. Anybody that's ever used a vending machine in their entire life, it's happened to all of us. And I was reading about this thing. You couldn't rock this particular machine because it was bolted to the floor. But that's the go-to move, right? When something gets stuck, you start rocking that sucker back and forth.
Right. You grab it by the side and you kind of start shaking it and you see what happens. You see what comes out.
I've been burned by the vending machines in this building since 2002. I mean, I've given hundreds of dollars to these vending machines, never been reimbursed once.
Our bonus money is all stuck in that vending machine on the 6th floor and the 3rd floor that robs you every single time. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, this is Rob.
And this is Casey.
Do we finally have a speaker?
Monday, join us 9 until noon on 93 WIBC.
Get ready to celebrate the birthday of the King of Rock and Roll. And you're all invited as Omar presents the Elvis Tribute Artist Spectacular. Sunday, January 8th at the Egyptian Room at Old National Center, Indianapolis. Starring Sean Clutch, Ryan Pelton, and introducing Moses Snow with special guest, the legendary Blackwood Quartet. Tickets are on sale now, so come celebrate Elvis's birthday. Visit etaspectacular.com today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's going to be a late night. Cloudy, 37 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Nothing on radar. The low down to 25 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 429. The House is adjourning until 10 Eastern tonight after still having not elected a speaker after another vote. Some Republicans, though, have flipped their votes to Kevin McCarthy today.
It just reminds me of what my father always told me. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And now we have to finish for the American public.
McCarthy believes eventually he'll get the votes and become speaker. Enough of the conservatives voted against the Californian on the 13th and most recent ballot to deny him the gavel. The White House announced today more funding for Ukraine.
The war is at a critical point, and we must do everything that we can to help the Ukrainians resist Russian aggression.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, the U.S. will give over $3 billion to the country as their war with Russia continues. President Biden is awarding the Presidential Citizens Medal to 7 people for their efforts to protect the Capitol on January 6th, 2 years ago.
We honor a remarkable group of Americans who embodied the best before, during, and after January the 6th, 2021.
That includes Eugene Goodman, the Capitol police officer who lured rioters away from the entrance of the Senate during the Capitol riot January 6th. If you're wondering about what kind of weather you're going to see this weekend,
we're going to be dealing with either kind of a rain-snow mix across the central portions of the state Saturday night into Sunday.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says you won't see a lot of it, though, but temperatures will be hovering around the freezing mark. A great day for stocks to close out the week. The Dow up 700 to 33,630. The Nasdaq up 264 to 10,569. And the S&P 500 up 86 today to 3,895. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:31.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Was the MVP. Craig was proposing to his girlfriend and needed the perfect ring, so he asked her friends for some advice.
Get yourself to Helzberg.
Yep, Craig went to Helzberg Diamonds. He learned that Helzberg's been in business for over 100 years. That means quality. And with their price match guarantee, he'd get a great deal and find the perfect ring.
Wow, it's perfect. Oh, yeah.
MVP, most valuable proposer. Be like Craig. Find the ring of her dreams at a Helzberg Diamonds near you or at Helzberg.com.
Dan Dockage for Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, and I got to tell you, I see why. Since I started a testosterone replacement program with Affinity, my energy, mental focus, drive, everything is up, and the physical benefits are amazing. Check them out at feelgreatindy.com. Guys, you can improve the way you look, the way you feel. You can build muscle and lose fat. Affinity will give you the roadmap. Go to feelgreatindy.com. That's feelgreatindy.com.
With traffic at 4:32, here's Matt Bear.
Harrison Craig, southbound 69 at 82nd, left lane block. Not a lot of delay, if any at all, with this, so you should be okay. Just watch out for that left lane. East side, southbound 465, stop and go 70 down to Arlington Avenue. South side, eastbound 465, slow roll before Harding over to Emerson. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy and cool tonight. We'll see lows fall to 30. Some sunshine on your Saturday before clouds increase late. We'll also see a wintry mix possible later in the afternoon and evening. Highs near 42. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Happening right now.
Things are happening.
A rail strike in the middle of the holidays.
Supply chain bottlenecks.
And make inflation worse.
And they're happening here.
Embarrassing, bad, downright ugly.
Washington now has a check and balance.
At the top and bottom of the hour.
More expensive airfare.
The Chinese government.
Pressure on Iran.
Hate has no place in this country.
Check in often.
Understand what's happening.
Always check for the latest local news.
On 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
This situation absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part.
We're just the guys to do it.
Hammer and Nigel on 93 WIBC.
Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer's right over there with a special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
He is the Rapid Response Director for the RNC. Tommy Pickett joins us. Tommy, we got a number of places we can begin here. Let's start with the jobs report. We haven't talked about that yet. The jobs report came out earlier today. What do we need to know here? Because I see the Biden administration doing a victory lap on this thing. What's really going on with the jobs report?
Well, they're doing a victory lap while Americans are getting poorer. This jobs report marks 21 straight months of wages being negative, going down, following Biden passing that $1.9 trillion disaster that he passed early in his presidency. Inflation has really been destroying wages and really making Americans poorer across the board. And this report showed that. This report actually showed wage growth slowing even more. So while inflation remains high, wages are slowing, which means bad news for American workers.
Now, the headline that we're going to see put out there from the administration is that the jobs report beat expectations. It added 223,000 non-farm payroll jobs. The unemployment rate ticked down to 3.5%. But it seems like the real issues here are the participation rate and the wages versus inflation. Is that correct?
Well, that's exactly right. And I think first on the jobs numbers, who he has to thank for any job creation that we're seeing are Republican governors. Let's not, confuse the issue here where job creation is. Job creation is in Republican-led states. That's why people are fleeing blue states towards red states in close to record numbers. So Joe Biden to go out there and tout any job creation number is ironic given the fact that he's attacking governors that are actually creating these jobs. But then when it comes to the actual issues that Americans say are really hurting them in the pocketbook, it is those prices that you mentioned. And what we're seeing right now, again, is that wages are slowing as prices remain absurdly high. Inflation remains absurdly high. And unfortunately, Biden is unwilling to actually take steps to address inflation, like unleashing American energy, like stopping the wasteful spending. That's really what matters here.
There's stuff that he could do in terms of supply side policies that would. We talk about increased production to meet demand, and you hit the nail on the head. He's not doing those things in terms of supply side policies that could maybe help us out with a soft landing on, when we're talking about a recession.
He's really not. And the fact is that he's actually the only thing that he has done that maybe has contributed to a short-term decline in gas prices is releasing oil from our reserve, which in the long run is only going to hurt our national security because we're left without a reserve. But basically, that doesn't affect the fact that now we have gas prices going up again. We have heating oil going up something like 28%. We have energy across the board skyrocketing. Diesel has remained high throughout his presidency, which is the fuel that really fuels the economy in terms of transporting large amounts of goods across the country. Diesel is that fuel. So he's not doing what he needs to do and what he could be doing. And I think a good example is back in 2008 when prices were high under George W. Bush. George W. Bush came out and said, we're going to unleash American energy. We're going to increase domestic oil production. And within a matter of 6 months, we saw oil prices decline by close to half. So really, Biden could go out there and say we're going to unleash American energy. And because it's a futures market, that would have a close to instantaneous impact on predictions, on expectations. But he's refusing to do it because he cares more about the far left than he actually cares about American pocketbooks.
Yeah, it's a hard sell to see Joe Biden go up there and tell everybody how great the economy is when my wife just tells me yesterday, did you know eggs are $7 right now?
Ridiculous.
The cost of groceries and things like that. Tommy Pickett is our guest. He's the RNC Rapid Response Director. Let's turn our attention to the border. Now, yesterday, Joe Biden had a little speech at the White House about the border. This was his opportunity to take control of it. He could have done a lot of things. He could have fired Mayorkas, but instead, we got an app that the illegals are supposed to use to help them better get into the country. They can download an app, Tommy. Take me through what we learned yesterday.
Well, basically what Biden has done is he's turned immigration law enforcement into a travel agency. Basically an agency that gives tickets to illegal immigrants to enter this country. That's basically what he's done. And then he acts surprised when people show up at the border. Newsflash to Joe Biden, when you have an open borders policy, people are going to show up to it. And he has the audacity to blame Republicans for the border crisis that he created. So really, it's kind of a doubling down here of the open borders policies that created this mess in the first place. We saw no solutions, only a blame game continuing from him. And it really is ironic the fact that he's saying this is a crisis that's existed for decades, when he has increased the severity of the crisis exponentially. We've seen more illegal immigrants escaping into this country, more illegal immigrants arriving at the border than we've ever seen in history. And so it's just more of the same from Joe Biden of opening this border and refusing to take responsibility for his actions.
I think my favorite part yesterday, and Nigel, you and I talked about this, he blamed the Republicans for what's happening at the border. Now, Tommy, I'm old enough to remember that when Joe Biden was sworn in, the situation at the border was nowhere near as dire as it is right now.
Yeah, I was taking a look at the border encounter numbers just to see remind myself of the severity of the crisis or the encounters that were arriving before Joe Biden took office. There's those monthly encounters, and for about 21 months now, we've had encounters under Joe Biden above 150,000, which is just astonishing numbers. Most of those months are actually above 200,000. But I went back and looked. 15 years, and there's 0 months where encounters reached 150,000 in the 15 years before Joe Biden took office. So basically, he goes for 15 years with 0 months of encounters above 150,000, and now we've had 21 months in a row with encounters above 150,000. That's not inheriting a mess. You can't blame that on Republicans. That's Joe Biden creating a mess, and there's no other way to look at it. Even with a cursory view of the facts, it's clear that Joe Biden's to blame for this. And also, just a quick note, illegal immigrants arriving at the border say they're coming because of Joe Biden's policies. Yeah. They say that openly when they're interviewed. So there's no hiding this. It's not a secret.
Tommy, we played a clip earlier. We played several clips talking about January 6th. And one of the clips was Kamala Harris comparing the events of January 6th to 9/11. And it makes me sick when I hear stuff like that. Just your kind of 30,000-foot perspective on the second anniversary of January 6th and how the Democrats are using that and treating that and the comparisons, the ridiculous comparisons they've made to a couple of hundred knuckleheads breaking into the Capitol.
Well, I think a few things. First is that anyone that broke the law, anyone that committed acts of violence, including the person that left a pipe bomb outside the RNC, needs to be brought to justice. That's a basic element that we all can agree on. But I think the second part of this is when you look at what Joe Biden, what Kamala Harris are doing, is they decide instead of uniting the country that they want to divide the country even further. They want to use anything for political expediency. I think one of the perfect examples of this is Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat that every House Democrat has voted for Speaker the past few days here, is an election denier. But for some reason, they don't care about that. They only care about political gain. They only care about politics, and they're willing to level any amount of smears against their opponents. They're willing to target concerned parents and call them terrorists if they're concerned about what's happening in their schools. There's really no low they won't go to in terms of trying to preserve political power. So instead of uniting this country, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been dedicated in dividing this country, and it's one of Joe Biden's main broken promises compared to what he campaigned on.
Tommy, last thing here before we let you go. Again, Tommy Pickett of the RNC is our guest. You mentioned the House Speaker votes for Hakeem Jeffries just a moment ago. The House is taking a little break. They are adjourned until 10 p.m. tonight. Then they will come back and continue the vote to try to find the Speaker of the House. What have you seen so far from what's happening in Washington, D.C.? What are your thoughts?
Well, my thought is that we need to come together and we need to hold Joe Biden accountable. I mean, there's not really a second to spare here in terms of the border is a perfect example. The moment we get these gavels in hand, we can start the process of looking at Secretary Mayorkas, for example, and see if he's actually done his job, which I say he hasn't, and see if there's a case there for impeachment. I mean, that's an extremely important lever that Republicans can have in terms of exerting influence and stopping this border crisis. So we got to come together. I think based off of reporting, McCarthy seems to have the votes, or at least he's saying he has the votes now for when there's a vote later tonight for Speaker. We'll see if that's the case. But ultimately, Republicans got to come together. The stakes are too high, and we have to start holding Joe Biden accountable for the sake of the American people.
Is it a bad thing, though, that this delay has taken place? Because I would argue that what you're seeing right now actually is kind of healthy. You're seeing some debate. Yes, you're seeing a little bit of infighting, but you're seeing debate. I think this is the way things are supposed to look instead of a bunch of sheep just falling in line after big donor meetings and back alley deals have been made. I think it's actually been kind of healthy.
Yeah, the Republican Party is a Big Ten party in terms of a lot of different people with a lot of different priorities that come together for the sake of this country and saying that we believe in the American people, not in government. And I think, that sort of internal debate is fine. Ultimately, we need to make sure our main focus is on Joe Biden. So if this is a signal that we're going to have an extremely strong House caucus, that once we get this debate done, we're going to be laser focused on holding Joe Biden accountable and on delivering for the American people, then I don't think there's a problem. But we have to make sure that we come together. We have to make sure we unite, and we have to make sure we stay more focused on Joe Biden than on Republicans, because we have a lot more in common with fellow Republicans than we have with Democrats right now that are trying to abuse power in almost every single possible way conceivable.
He is the Rapid Response Director for the RNC, Tommy Pickett. Tommy, as always, we appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Guy Relford here. Time again for the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show this coming weekend at the State Fairgrounds, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's never been a more important time to exercise our rights as true Americans. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See the best in sporting, hunting, and personal protection gear, plus great displays of Americana. Come see us this weekend at the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show, Friday 2 to 7, Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday 9 to 4. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See you there.
So are we rooting for the Colts this weekend? ... To lose for a better draft pick? You know, one of the things I love about betting on the NFL is that you're finding new player props or game props, and you can combine those props with other bets of the same game to score an even bigger payout. It's going to be perfect for the Colts game if you want to make one last bet on your Indianapolis Colts. Quarterback over passing yards, running back anytime touchdown, and combine that with over total points scored. Just one of many ways you can make a same-game parlay. Lightning fast withdrawals with FanDuel. I love it when you do win. FanDuel pays your winnings out fast, and I love the live betting aspect as well. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up with promo code WIBC. That's promo code WIBC for your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus at present in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issues non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restricted apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9 with it.
President Trump has announced, and Ron DeSantis is rising fast. Who do you support for 2024? Newsmax wants to know what you think. Vote in the Newsmax poll. Just text the word RESPOND to 39747. That's RESPOND to 39747. It takes just seconds. Text RESPOND to 39747. Let your voice be heard and watch Newsmax today. Texting enrolls for automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
The new year is here. Time for a change. Start a recession-resistant new career in the high-demand IT field with My Computer Career. In just months. Already in IT? Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers nationwide are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus. And financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Make this your year. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Only $49.99. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. This hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Thursday, January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking 8 p.m. And Saturday, January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
All right, Matt Bear, it is Friday. I believe we have a Pacers game downtown tonight. Folks may be going out for date night or whatnot. Let's get them where they need to be.
Downtown looking pretty good right now. Hammer, we do see Southside traffic on eastbound 465 Harding over to Arlington. Inbound 65 to downtown is stop and go. West Street to Meridian Penn. East side southbound 465 slowing up 70 to 74 and a little pocket of delay here on westbound 465. North side, Michigan over to 865. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, 36 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. And crank up a little booze news.
You set them up and I'll knock them back, Lloyd. One by one.
We are gonna read booze news because it's really fun.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
Nigel presents
Booze news, booze news.
Yeah.
Time for booze news. Anybody doing dry January in the studio?
No.
So if you're doing dry January this year,
no.
That's where you take the month of January off of imbibing.
Nope.
Anything booze related, booze, wine, spirits, whatever. But look, there's some advantages if you're doing dry January. You might, and this weekend's going to be your first real test. So to keep you motivated, they released 5 good things that happen to your body when you give up alcohol for a month. Number 1, First and foremost, you might decrease your risk of cardiovascular disease. You drink to excess. I think everybody knows that that you're increasing bad cholesterol and clogged arteries and heart disease, whatever. So number 2, it might reduce your risk of cancer. There's a government report out there that links alcohol consumption and the development of several types of cancer, liver, of course, esophagus, breast, colorectal cancer. I swear, though, these studies, one study says alcohol causes cancer, another study says it's great for you.
Right. It's like wine, bacon, and coffee. Those 3 things.
Eggs, yeah.
Eggs. They're good for you or they will kill you. It rotates every single month.
Another benefit of dry January, you might lose weight. It's not just the alcohol's calories you're cutting out. It's also like the sugar from the mixed drinks.
Right.
You like yourself a mixed drink in the Hammer household, don't you?
I do.
think you called our show when you were on break, and you were drinking like some lemonade with vodka or something
Everclear.
like that. Yeah.
Everclear with lemonade. It was a little concoction that the coupon lady made for the holidays.
You would sleep better. Studies find that.
Oh, bull crap. I have drank so much and blacked out before I woke up feeling great.
Normal drinkers stop drinking for a month. They sleep better. They find it easier to concentrate as well. Number 5, last but not least, if you're doing dry January, it could be a benefit that you could feel happier.
Okay.
Which is maybe the reason why you drink in the first place, is to feel happy, right?
No, I drink in the first place to calm myself down and to stop the evil voices in my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Alcohol is a depressant, and it does cause you, I mean, if you're a heavy drinker,
right,
to have negative mental side effects. So giving it up for a month might make you feel happier overall. I just, I would do it just, again, for the weight loss, and I'm just tired of the hangovers. Because
do you still get hangovers though at your age?
It's not so much that as you're just kind of, you're waking up in the morning, you're groggy, you're grumpy,
dry mouth.
You aren't motivated to be productive. When you're in your mid 40s and you had too much to drink the night before, so that it's so predictable.
Right.
It's a predictable cycle. I realize I am having a brewski right here, but I am during the week trying to just keep it maybe to things that aren't as filling. Like I got a bottle of Macallan 12 for Christmas.
Classy.
A little bit of scotch.
Nice.
To sip on when I get home, as opposed to, chugging 5 16-ounce tall boys.
During a show.
During a sporting event or otherwise.
I've always been a big believer in the American buffalo theory.
What's that?
Some people would say that drinking is bad for the brain. I beg to differ. Now, I think the brain works the same way that a herd of buffalo work. That if one of the buffalo in a herd gets killed, thus by eliminating that buffalo, it makes the herd more powerful. Well, if you drink alcohol and it kills a brain cell, it kills the weakest brain cell that you have. Thus, by eliminating that brain cell, it makes the mind a more efficient thinking machine.
Boy, that's the kind of science, that's the kind of thinking, that's kind of outside the box thinking that we should have had on the COVID task force when Donald Trump was in charge. To be you and Birx and Fauci. And with that kind of reasoning, with that kind of mind working, that maybe could have worked well inside the White House.
I wonder if Deb would have let me have one of her scarves. Like if I would have gave that same speech wearing a scarf, would have had more credibility behind it.
Oh, so yeah. I just ordered like $140 worth of beer for Beer Sample Friday. So we're covered for the next couple of months.
I think that's being responsible on our behalf. We've got it all lined up now. So don't ever feel like there's going to be a Friday where, oh, crap, we forgot to order it. We sent a buttload of crap to be delivered, and thanks to our sponsor, Thompson Furniture.
The problem for you is they wouldn't deliver it. I got it through, not Drizzle. I got it through Total Wine. And Spirits up in Nora, and they wouldn't deliver down here to the station, so they're delivering it all to my house.
It's going to your house?
Yeah.
You mean
I'm gonna now,
$144 plus worth of booze? None of it's coming directly to the station. It's just going to your house.
I'm bringing it to the office Monday. I might need your help carrying it in.
I will never see this alcohol, will I? Hell, I don't even see the alcohol that's in my office because you break in and steal it and take it home.
I may have. I have a key to your office, and when you were gone for those couple of weeks, I may have helped myself. I'm not going to lie to you.
If you've taken anything away from this break, just remember the American Buffalo Theory.
I love it.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
My husband and I live next door to a haunted graveyard. It's a little creepy, but we manage. Just like we manage without home internet. Do I wish my mobile hotspot was faster? Yes, but I make it work. Kinda. Just like we make it work sleeping next to a 17th century burial ground.
Honey, can you move your hand?
That's not my hand.
It's mine.
Not having home internet? It's not that bad. Grab my hand.
Wait, okay.
No, not up the stairs. We tried that last time. Run around. You can literally run through him.
Don't settle. Switch to Xfinity and get one line of unlimited mobile and home internet together for $50 a month for 12 months. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit your local Xfinity store today. Restrictions apply. Requires new Connect internet service with 1-year contract. Auto pay and paperless billing with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes of data usage. Offer ends 3/21/23.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Was the MVP. Craig was proposing to his girlfriend and needed the perfect ring, so he asked her friends for some advice.
Get yourself to Helzberg.
Yep, Craig went to Helzberg Diamonds. He learned that Helzberg's been in business for over 100 years. That means quality. And with their price match guarantee, he'd get a great deal and find the perfect ring.
Wow, it's perfect. Oh, yeah.
MVP, most valuable proposer. Be like Craig. Find the ring of her dreams at a Helzberg Diamonds near you or at Helzberg.com.
Dan Dockage for Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, and I got to tell you, I see why. Since I started a testosterone replacement program with Affinity, my energy, mental focus, drive, everything is up, and the physical benefits are amazing. Check them out at feelgreatindy.com. Guys, you can improve the way you look, the way you feel. You can build muscle and lose fat. Affinity will give you the roadmap. Go to feelgreatindy.com. That's feelgreatindy.com.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Alex Brown. Governor Eric Holcomb said this week a bill will be introduced in this year's legislative session to designate the breaded pork tenderloin as Indiana's official state sandwich. Jeanette Merritt with the Indiana Pork Producers Association says the designation will benefit not only Indiana's pork producers, but numerous restaurants throughout the state.
We know from many food trails, from websites, from social media followings that breaded pork tenderloin has a giant following in Indiana. So people already love it, but for the governor to highlight it even more is such a great opportunity for pork producers to be able to share it with the people that they're around and encourage people to eat even more of it.
Indiana is the fifth largest pork-producing state in the U.S., with nearly 3,000 pig farmers raising over 4 million hogs. Evansville-based United Companies is promoting Amy Romaine Barron to Chief Executive Officer. Barron, who currently serves as Vice President, will succeed Ronald Romaine, who will transition to Executive Chairman of the company, according to our partners at WEHT-TV. The orthopedic device maker, specializing in children, says it has established a direct sales organization in Germany, which it says will provide better insights into the needs of the local pediatric community. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
I'm Christopher Day, the CEO of Elevate Ventures. We are the number one most active venture capital firm in the Great Lakes region and number 20 in the U.S. We invest in innovative Indiana companies. Today, Indiana has monikers including Amateur Sports Capital of the World, Racing Capital of the World, and Crossroads of America. Now is our opportunity as a state to chart the next 50 years. The productivity boom is well underway, and Indiana has the opportunity to become the innovation capital of the world. Visit elevateventures.com/Why Indiana to learn more.
Indianapolis-based insurance regulatory consulting firm Noble Consulting Services, the firm announced Thursday it has acquired the insurance regulatory practice of Eide Bailey LLP, a CPA and consulting firm headquartered in Fargo, North Dakota. Noble says the practice has 13 employees who conduct financial risk examinations and related services on behalf of state insurance regulators. Indianapolis Zoo CEO Rob Shoemaker is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. I'm Alex Brown for 93 WIBC.
Your local news coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
Moved within just a few votes of winning the speakership after flipping 15 holdouts in voting today after a night of intense negotiations in an emerging framework agreement
that we think will change this institution in meaningful ways.
Texas Republican Chip Roy is one of those pickups for McCarthy. The framework is believed to include guarantees on committee assignments, spending caps, and rules changes.
Now, some members are confident that he will get the nod when they reconvene tonight at 10 p.m. Representative Michael Waltz asking Republicans who oppose McCarthy to ease up.
And we need some of these folks to at least vote present if this is a personal issue with Kevin McCarthy.
So far, there have been 13 votes. The disbanded House January 6 committee recently released hundreds of documents, but inadvertently made public nearly 2,000 Social Security numbers belonging to high-profile individuals who visited the White House in December of 2020. That, according to the Washington Post, the move could leave those individuals open to identity theft. Meantime, many lawmakers gathered to mark the 2-year anniversary of that Capitol riot.
We will never forget this day.
Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries on the Capitol steps. Now, investors ending the week on a positive note. Big gains on Wall Street.
Stocks were in rally mode, finishing higher for the day and week as rate hike worries eased after monthly Labor Department data showed the pace of job creation cooled in December while wage gains slowed. The Dow rising 701 points, the Nasdaq up 264, S&P 500 up 87.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A little bit of everything. 36 and mostly cloudy on Monument Circle. Nothing on radar as the low drops to 24 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. You can expect a weekend filled with a light mix of rain and snow. After that, it's going to warm up.
As we get into next week, we're going to be warmer than normal. We're talking temperatures in the low to mid-40s across the state, and that kind of stays there all week.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. Some places might get some rain next week, but not a whole lot is expected. The Marion County prosecutor has filed a motion asking for a special prosecutor in Tuesday night's Castleton Square Mall shooting that killed a teenager. Ryan Mears cited a conflict of interest in the case, but he didn't say what that conflict was. Michael Mason Jr. was the boy who was shot and killed in that shooting. A 21-year-old is also recovering after they were shot in the legs, according to his father. No arrest in the case has been announced yet. His actions are called despicable and heinous, with no respect for the law or human life by federal investigators. John Herrick reports on how a man from Shelbyville got more than 4 decades in prison.
Police say Robert Mason Elliott abused a teenage girl in 2017, and not long after he went to prison, he tried to hire hitmen on 2 separate occasions to kill the girl and her mother, but those plans were stopped by police both times. He also tried to buy guns illegally and produced child sex abuse material. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The driver who crashed his car into an apartment building in Carmel was ID'd as Michael Gent, a junior at Carmel High School. Carmel police say the 16-year-old was taken to the hospital with serious injuries and was the only person in the car during the wreck this morning, and that crash is still being investigated. Elvis Presley was born 88 years ago, January 8th. In honor of his birthday, tribute artists will be performing at the Old National Center. Sasha Nixon has more.
The so-called king of rock and roll is known for many reasons, including his unique stage presence and heartthrob status. In the Egyptian Room at the Old National Center, tribute artists will be taking the stage starting at 7 p.m. to celebrate the late legend on the day of his birth. You can get tickets online at oldnationalcenter.com. Learn more at wibc.com. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Is your home really ready for the holiday season? As you're putting up your Christmas decorations this year, pay attention to your home siding. There are lots of new vibrant siding colors out there, and new siding can give your home a much-needed facelift. Moss Roofing offers James Hardy siding that comes with a 15-year warranty. It's low maintenance, and it will give your home the durability it deserves this winter. winter and many winters to come. Not only will you get great curb appeal from James Hardie Siding, you won't have to think about the siding on your home for a long, long time. And that's a pretty great gift for the holiday season. Moss Roofing is a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of serving Central Indiana. Moss Roofing experts offer residential and commercial roofing repairs and replacements, gutters, and insulation services. Call Moss Roofing today. 317-527-4393. 317-527-4393. Or visit mossroofing.com. That's MOSS. mossroofing.com. mossroofing.com.
The traffic on the 5s at 5:05. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, east side, southbound 465, stop and go traffic 70 down to 74. Inbound 65 slows up West Street to the north split. And on the south side, eastbound 465, slow in pockets from Man Road to Harding. And again, 31 to I-65. Traffic sponsored by Discover. With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy and cool tonight. We'll see lows fall to 30. Some sunshine on your Saturday before clouds increase late. We'll also see a wintry mix possible later in the afternoon and evening. Highs near 42. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel. Can you believe these characters are weirdos? On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it! It is a beer sample Friday here on the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here.
Hello.
Coming up here in just a little bit, Abdul will join us in studio. Is he running for mayor or not? We'll ask it every week until we get an answer. But right now, Nigel, I want to start with some breaking news. We've been talking about this shooting that took place at the Castleton Square Mall.
Yeah,
where
well said.
It's a horrible story where a 16-year-old is dead. A 21-year-old who I believe was involved in a mentorship program with the 16-year-old, at least that's according to the father, was wounded. And it all sounds like it was because of a wrong vehicle. So two people coming out of the mall, 21-year-old, 16-year-old, they go up to a car that they thought was theirs. Same make, same model. They thought it was their car. They try to open up the door. Next thing you know, there's gunfire. This is the story that's been presented to us from the father of the 21-year-old. The 16-year-old has lost his life. Well, now we're hearing that the prosecutor here in Marion County, Ryan Mears, is recusing himself because he's got a conflict of interest involving the suspect. So we don't know what the conflict of interest is, but there will be a special prosecutor looking at what happened at the Castleton Square Mall.
Well, good. I mean, at least he's whatever needs to be done to make sure this perpetrator stays behind bars for the rest of his life. I don't know all the details yet. We only have the testimony of the 21-year-old's dad, who said there was no ill intent, there was no altercation. He said this guy murdered the kid that opened the door accidentally. If that's the case, guy needs to be in jail for the rest of his life. I don't know why Mears would recuse himself, but if he feels like it's, his participation is going to somehow hinder the prosecution of this person, then okay, good. I'm glad he recognizes it. And I have no clue what this would be about, though. I don't understand. But if he feels like a special prosecutor is the way to go here, and it's better for the case, then okay, so be it.
First of all, if he wants to recuse himself from every case, I'd be fine with that, because then maybe some prosecutions and bad guys would stay locked up a little longer. I wish Ryan Mears would have recused himself of everything. But again, this is a crazy story because the father of the 21-year-old, the one that survived, his dad's a pastor here in Indy, said that his son's a good kid, great athlete, is involved in like a mentorship program, and they were leaving the mall. There was no altercation. and they just happened to get into a car that they thought was his, and that's when the situation with the gunfire happened. Now, originally, the police stated there was some sort of altercation that took place in the parking lot. So I think there's a lot of information we still need to grasp and acquire before we start judging one way or the other here. But I hate the fact that we are 6 days in to 2023 here in Indianapolis. We have 3 homicides, and all 3 of them are juveniles.
All under the age of 18.
Yes.
Teenagers. That is definitely a black eye on this city to begin 2023, for sure. Teens.
Day number 4 of gavel battle. Who's going to be the Speaker of the House? Is it going to be Kevin McCarthy, or are the Never Kevers going to get their way? Well, here we are, Friday, a little bit after 5 o'clock, still no Speaker of the House. There's been a little bit of a break in the action here. They're going to get back together tonight at around 10 o'clock. And we're hearing some rumor, some scuttlebutt, that old man Kev may have the votes and could win this thing tonight.
I mean, he almost had the votes today. A bunch of flips from yesterday. People that either voted president or voted for somebody else or nominated somebody else. I mean, about 14 or 15 of those. He was about 4 shy of the 2018 needed to get that role as speaker. And he claims after they adjourned today, they're getting, like you said, back together at 10 o'clock. He said at a statement at the podium saying, I've got the votes this time. Is this tailgate worthy? Are we staying up for this?
No,
I'm not.
No. My buddy is going to be on Patrol Live tonight from the Beech Grove Police Department. So I'll be watching that, but I'll also be keeping an eye on this vote. You know, what was it George W. Bush said? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, we won't be fooled again. I've watched this thing 13 times, and there's been no speaker. So I'll keep an eye on it on my phone.
By the way, you were much more eloquent than George W. Bush was.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it for sure. But it's nothing that's tailgate worthy at all.
I'm not gonna. My wife and I got to catch up on some Yellowstones on the DVR. I'm not going to say, hey, honey, let me hit pause and turn on the news here because I just got to see you if you got the votes or not.
Should I start Yellowstone soon?
We talked about this. Yeah.
You know the kind of programs that I watch. Things I can gamble on, news, and that's pretty much it. Do I have time in my life to sit down and watch an episode or 2 starting after football season, and will I be okay to watch it?
Do you like old Westerns? Do you like Western kind of like...
Like, I'm weird. I liked movies like Tombstone, but I didn't like Gunsmoke.
I would almost start 1883 before you start Yellowstone. I don't know.
Sounds like a lot of work. Now we're getting into spinoffs.
Tim McGraw and Faith Hill and Sam Elliott's better than Yellowstone. It was intense, and it's almost to the point of depressing, but man, it was so good. And I'm going to start watching 1923, which has the Harrison Ford. It's all about the lineage of the characters, and yes. My simple answer is yes. Start Yellowstone. We'll start with there.
I just don't like Faith Hill. I never have.
Well,
liked
that's
Faith
1883. She was really good in 1883. That's kind of like the prequel to the Dutton family.
Like, every time I've seen Faith Hill on camera.
No, she's good.
Like, there was an award show where she didn't win, and she melted down on camera, and it was beautiful.
Well,
and that one year that the Colts played the Titans in the playoffs, this was like the first big playoff game of like Peyton and Edge and all those guys. She had a suite here, and she came here and was real mouthy, and she just rubbed me the wrong way ever since then. Tim McGraw, I'm okay with. I feel like I could have a beer with Tim McGraw, but I've never really been on board with Faith Hill.
Start with Yellowstone, but back to my original point. I'm not stopping the middle of our show watching tonight, hitting pause and tuning in to see if he got the votes or not.
That soul-sucking song, I Can Feel You Breathe, played that damn thing a million damn times when I worked at the Bear. It was awful. All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
All right, we're looking at East Side, southbound 465. It is slow. 72 Arlington Avenue, Southside eastbound 465. Pockets of slow here, Man Road over to Harding Street. And again, 65 to Arlington Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Unbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
If I want to go pop country with my divas, I'm going Shania Twain every single time over Faith Hill. And I believe, actually, we have a Shania Twain update coming up here in just a moment.
Oh, really?
Right now, though, we've got 37 degrees at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Hammer and Nigel Show, Beer Sample Friday on the way.
My partners had told me I should get my knee replaced. I was in my 40s, and I decided that I wouldn't do that.
That's orthopedic surgeon Dr. John Herzog, who found regenerative medicine years ago and became a believer.
It changed my life around. It improved me to a point where I was able to jog again.
That's when Dr. Herzog switched his focus from surgery to helping his patients with natural biologics.
I've treated at least 5,000 patients. I believe your body has everything it needs to heal itself.
Today, you'll find Dr. Herzog at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in this exciting field of medicine that can give lasting pain relief with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery.
I have patients coming up to me that I did 10 years ago saying, Doc, my elbow's still working great. I'm playing tennis 3 days a week.
Call QC Kinetics now to explore alternative ways to deal with your pain. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
If today were the last day of your life, would you want to do what you're about to do today? As time marches on, the inescapable movement of the clock can change our perspective on life and our daily purpose. We all get there someday. In recent years, families I work with often ask, "What happens to me, Brian, if something happens to you or you decide to retire?" Every day I ask myself, does this still feel like a purpose that I look forward to, or is this starting to feel like a job? This is Brian Singer with Singer Financial. I feel blessed to still love what I do, but someday my purpose might shift to playing pickleball 24/7. CNBC reports that 73% of financial advisors lack a formal succession plan. That means that nearly 3 out of 4 advisors may be contemplating their own retirement with no transitional support for the clients who may have trusted them for years or decades. Fiduciary advisors put clients' best interests first. At Singer Financial, that means knowing how the individuals, couples, and families we work with will be taken care of for many more years beyond my retirement, unexpected disability, or death. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now a part of Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm. We believe our integration with the Howard Bailey team is a giant step forward in our mission to be the last financial team you would ever need or want. Howard Bailey is a growing firm with a youthful, energetic founder and a cutting-edge planning process designed to help you transition into a work-optional lifestyle someday. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit and talk about your someday. If you're ready to plan for your best retirement, we should get together.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast, while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Rise and shine with delicious morning deals like 2 for $5 breakfast. Choose from the tasty sausage McMuffin with egg or egg McMuffin. Any 2 for just $5. Breakfast hours only. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
President Trump has announced, and Ron DeSantis is rising fast. Who do you support for 2024? Newsmax wants to know what you think. Vote in the Newsmax poll. Just text the word RESPOND to 39747. That's RESPOND to 39747. It takes just seconds. Text RESPOND to 39747. Let your voice be heard and watch Newsmax today. Texting enrolls for automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is right over there. A couple things to look forward to this hour, including Abdul coming up a little bit after 5:30.
Is he going to run for mayor or not, Nigel?
We're going to get right down to it. He's got the exploratory committee. He's accepting campaign donations.
Well, I'm accepting campaign donations. Hell.
And then I've got it. It's been a mystery for us behind the scenes all week. We have Beer Sample Friday coming up a little bit after 5:45. We walked into the office this week, and there were 2 premium bottles of vodka sitting on our desk that are shaped like baseball bats.
Right.
It's called it's a certain kind of vodka, and
Hall of Fame vodka.
We've been scratching our heads like, who sent this to us? And then it hit me. I figured it out. We're going to try that live on the air, even though it's technically not beer.
Right.
That's just the idea of the segment, is we try new stuff.
And I love the fact that we have so many friends in the booze business that we didn't know who that would be that dropped it off.
It's been driving me nuts for the past 5 days. So Beer Sample Friday coming up at 5:45. Abdul in here before that at a little bit after 5:30, a little bit after the news here. Very sad news to report, Hammer.
Oh no!
One of your favorite stores, Bed Bath & Beyond, said that it may not survive, warning that a bankruptcy filing may be part of their future.
Oh, that's a bummer, man. I hate to see a business that's been around for a long time start to shut down and fold and file for bankruptcy.
Was Bed Bath & Beyond one of the places Frank the Tank was going to go if he had more time?
He had a busy Saturday.
He didn't know if he had enough time. Was that one of the places from old school? I think
yes.
It was Home Depot, maybe.
Not quite sure if he'd have enough time.
So, anyway.
That's why he couldn't do the beer bong.
That's right. So, never like to see, especially a store like that. My wife loves Bed Bath & Beyond.
What's her favorite part? The bed, the bath, or the beyond?
Everything in there. They got everything. So, we did find Bed Bath & Beyond's very last commercial here.
Bed Bath & Beyond is running out of cash and headed towards bankruptcy. So, in order to prepare for Chapter 11, they're changing their name to Broke, Bust, and Be Gone. No more saving on window coverings because it's curtains. Forget about storage products. Instead, look for something that's strapped. Shopping for brushes or dusting supplies? They're cleaned out. Something to disinfect or sterilize? They're all washed up. Broke, Bust, and Be Gone. Look for it in the same parking lot where you used to find Sears and Blockbuster.
Got a pretty busy little Saturday lined up. Maybe Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have enough time.
Do you see this couple in Jersey? They were arrested. They stole a car. Right, which is always a good idea. That always works out well.
What could possibly go wrong with the start of that?
They stole a car. Their police are chasing after them, and they fell 21 feet off some embankment and landed onto a house.
Oh.
Here's the car crash with the witness talking about what happened. Oh.
Bam!
We thought we heard garage doors banging real loud. Unbelievable. It was a car on top of a car. Just thankful nobody got hurt.
Do people really think that the car chase thing works, like fleeing from police? Although some people, there's some rules in some Democrat-led cities that say you're not allowed to chase. You're not allowed to engage in a car chase.
I watch a lot of On Patrol Live, which used to be called Live PD. Right. Now it's called On Patrol Live. And what I see in all these districts across the country is that if the police department feels that a police chase is going to start endangering the public, they will ease off. They will let the maniac go, and they will try to find that person a different way later on.
What if they decide that it's going to land on a house as the result of it?
Boom!
Oh my God!
And can you play the woman giving the speech right there? Because if you would have told me, guess the state, I would have got this right. It's New Jersey.
thought we heard garage doors banging real loud.
Like that's Snooki's mom.
It was a car on top.
Everybody's fine and no serious injuries. The people were arrested, by the way.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I saw Snooki in Las Vegas?
You saw her? Like in person?
So we were at, I think it was the Mirage back in the day. And this is at the height of the Jersey Shore fame. Snooki and her entourage are walking by to the pool. And my wife, you would have thought that like Bradley Cooper and George Clooney were walking by.
Yeah, that's the way the chicks are with some of these reality show stars. A couple of years ago, we were in Boca, and my wife saw a reality show star, like one of these housewives of Beverly Hills, maybe, but it was the chick that had the fake leg, and she was known for a scene in one of the a clip where she took off her fake leg and started beating somebody with it.
She was beating somebody with the leg.
Yes, and my wife was enamored every time she walked by and like refused to go. I'm like, go get your picture taken with her. Go ask her for a picture. She probably loves. She's no. I mean, she looked at her like she was Sandra Bullock or Jennifer Aniston.
Right. And like it wasn't just my wife, and I'm sure it wasn't just your wife. Everybody at the pool in the Mirage, you could hear, oh, that's Snooki, Jersey Shore. Look at that.
A website claims the sexiest names for dudes are Jack and Nick.
Jack and Nick, the sexiest names, huh?
What's this website? Can I get a Jason or a Nigel in there?
Right. Man, when I was growing up, like every third kid was named Jason.
Yeah.
You have a very distinctive name. It's almost like it's a spy name almost.
Well, it's an old English name. Yeah, it's not a very modern name. But like Jack and Nick, everybody, okay, if Jasons are a dime a dozen, certainly so are Jack and Nick. And they're saying those are sexy names.
Meanwhile, Mary and Rachel top the list of sexiest female names. Have you ever dated a hot, sexy Mary or Rachel?
Not that I can recall.
There's a lot of booze involved there.
Not that I can recall. Most of my time in my 20s, especially in terms of dating, are a blur. No clues of names, no clues if they could walk up and tap me on the shoulder. Who are you? Oh. Yeah, no, sorry.
Rachel, that's right.
What are the other names?
For the guys, Nick, James, Ben, Joe, and Peter.
And these are supposed to be quote unquote sexy names.
Right. To me, Peter is just a nickname for Tallywhacker, right?
Yeah. Was Todd in there?
Guy's named Todd.
And I'm getting really sick of guys named Todd. Hi, what's your name? Todd. I'm Todd. And this is Blake and Blair and Blaine and Brent. Taylor, Tyler, Jordan, Flynn. These are not real names.
The great George Carlin, ladies and gentlemen. So where are we at with Shania Twain? Were you a big Shania fan? Because we both played the new hit country when we were coming up in our DJ career.
She's a hit machine, man. Yeah, every song she has. Huge
she
hit.
was like the first like modern country chick to become a pop star.
Huge star, yeah. Yeah, crossover, sure.
She's got a new song out.
Oh, yeah?
It's called Giddy Up. Tell me if this does anything for you.
Yeah, sure.
It's not bad. She's like the queen of country pop.
Not exactly the best, lyric-wise song I've heard. Repeating Giddy Up over and over again.
I will listen to Shania Twain do the alphabet, though. Like, I've always had a little thing for Shania Twain. Hit machine, and she's still hot. Like, she still got it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. She had a Vegas residency, and she announced it by having some big parade up and down the street. I was there at the time, and she had on this, like, midriff, and I think she's in her 50s, man.
Nice.
She still got it. She's just as hot now as she was when she was doing Any Man of Mine. So I know we like mashups on this show.
Yes.
Where two popular songs are morphed into one.
Right.
Tell me if this moved the needle for you. This is a little Eddie Money and Shania Twain mashup.
Let's go.
Okay.
Want you for a night.
little Take Me Home Tonight in there.
Yeah.
Here we go. Come on, Eddie. I want to hear some more Eddie.
Yeah, bring me Eddie.
Yeah.
There it is. I've heard better.
Yeah.
I've heard better.
I've heard better too, but any excuse to get Eddie money on the airwaves, I'm down for.
Absolutely.
We got Abdul coming up next. Right now, Harrison Silcox has the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It might be over soon. Cloudy and 36 downtown. Your radar's clear, and those clouds will stick around tonight with the low falling to about 24. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy's getting closer to the 218 votes he needs to become Speaker of the House. He's confident, though, that he'll get those votes.
We made some very good progress. We'll come back tonight, and I believe at that time we'll have the votes to finish this once and for all.
The House will reconvene at 10 tonight. More than a dozen House Republicans voted for McCarthy after 20 voted for other candidates the last 3 days. President Joe Biden is commemorating the 2-year anniversary of the Capitol Hill riots at the White House today and awarding presidential citizens medals to state and local officials, police officers, and election workers.
I began to think, looking back on it, that it was just permanent in the United States. It just was eternal. Nothing would happen.
There have been over 900 people arrested and charged in the riots. The FDA approved an Alzheimer's drug that slowed cognitive decline in clinical trials. The drug was developed by Biogen and Japanese pharmaceutical company Eisai. Trials in November showed it slows a cognitive decline somewhat in people with mild impairment due to Alzheimer's disease, but it also carries risks of brain swelling and bleeding. Congress released a report last week about the FDA's mishandling of the approval of another Alzheimer's drug made by Biogen and Eisai. A murder suspect from another state was arrested in Indiana this morning. John Herrick reports.
A state police trooper saw a 2015 Nissan Pathfinder going close to 90 miles an hour on I-64 in Posey County. The trooper thought that was a little fast, so he tried to pull it over, but the driver sped off onto a county road, lost control, and eventually crashed into a field. They identified the driver as Jonathan D'Angelo Chance of Dunn, North Carolina. They found out the Pathfinder was stolen and that Chance was a murder suspect from Colorado. He's being held in the Posey County Jail without bond. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
With traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, eastbound 465 slow. Keystone Avenue over 269. Also on the north side, westbound lanes dragging a bit after ditch over to Michigan. South side, eastbound 465, it's stop and go 72 the White River, and then slow at I-65, not for long. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy and cool tonight. We'll see lows fall to 30. Some sunshine on your Saturday before clouds increase late. We'll also see a wintry mix possible later in the afternoon and evening. Highs near 42. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Abdul Shabazz, attorney at law and longtime host here at 93 WIBC, joining us in studio. First of all, you look great, man. Happy New Year.
Thank you. It's been a while since we all chatted.
It has. You're dropping some poundage, aren't you, man?
Yes, I'm doing dry January on top of it.
You're looking very mayoral. Is it okay if I say that, Abdul?
Hold on. Before we back up, before we talking about the mayor thing, did you hear those two words, dry January, Hammer?
I tried to ignore them.
So this is something you do. Is this something Abdul does every year?
Every year.
I thought it was after Thanksgiving.
No, I do dry January. I don't drink for 31 days, and I also do it during Ramadan, which is like an Islamic holiday. So
yeah, I mean that alone, Hammer, you're dropping pounds just by all those empty calories, right? It's tough though, man. Do you still smoke cigars?
Oh yeah, I still go downstairs and Nicky Blaine's. That's mandatory.
What people don't know is that after dry January and after after Ramadan. Abdul doubles up.
Well, all I know is that there's usually like a line of people after dry January who want to buy me cocktails.
So where are we at with your decision surrounding your possible running for the mayor of Indianapolis?
Well, I think the website is all set up and ready to go. AbdulForIndy4.com. And we just last night got the online donation feature up and running. So we had to get some bank paperwork in, but that's all taken care of and squared away. And already the money started coming in. So
you're in this thing or what?
No, not yet. I still got to.
So you haven't made a decision yet.
I haven't made a decision yet, but the exploratory committee allows me to raise money for like polling and some other things, and also allows me to sort of do it in a formal way. So that's where we are right now. No decision been made yet. The decision will be made after we poll and after I take all the data to my lovely wife just one more time. Like, Speedy, you sure you want to do this?
What happens to the money, like if you decide not to run and everybody already donated to the campaign?
I just give it back.
Oh, that's okay. Is that normal?
It's like the Abdul refund, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you leaning one way or the other?
Right now, I would say still 50-50.
I don't believe you. If you've got a website rolling and you've got a committee and you've got money coming in, come on, Abdul, you're in this thing, aren't you?
It's still 50-50, old friend.
Tell me how
not until the wife officially says yes.
Is your wife on the exploratory committee?
No.
Okay. So tell me about these guys. Anything we need to know about, and what exactly are they doing for you?
Oh no, they're all friends of mine. I know them all for years. Some do campaign finance, some do organizations, some do mailers. So we're just basically putting all those folks together. And then I want to say like next week, I'm going to start putting together sort of the bigger, like here's your campaign manager, here's your official campaign treasurer, here's your kitchen cabinet, your people who you use for like public safety, roads, infrastructure, whose brains you pick on occasion.
If you do decide to get in this thing, and eventually there's debate prep where you're going to have to go toe-to-toe against Boss Hogset possibly, can I be the guy that plays Boss Hogset in your preparation? Because I'll just show in there hammered drunk and, pants around my ankle. I might not even show up like he did with the riots.
Well, I don't necessarily think that's necessary. I appreciate the offer. Don't get me wrong.
I'm here for you, my friend.
And hey, for 20 years, yes, you have been, old friend. I appreciate that. However, I do think if I do decide to do it and do become the nominee, a debate would be interesting because Joe and I technically have been debating since we became mayor. Because whenever we have a news conference, I'd ask him questions, he'd answer back. So we've already sort of got experience sort of working with.
I know a question you can ask.
I do too.
Where were you the night of the riot? Nights of the riots.
But first, you got to get past the GOP primary.
Yes, and there are two people in the primary right now, Pastor James Jackson, East Side, and then there's another gentleman who's from Decatur Township who's kind of, let's say, not operate on all thrusters. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. All right.
When can we expect a decision? Sorry if you already covered that.
By February 3rd. That's the filing deadline.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So it's creeping up on us here.
Less than a month.
So let's get into some business that's going to be happening before then. The Indiana General Assembly getting ready to get everything rolling next week. What are we looking at?
We're looking at the budget because it's a budget year. So naturally, that's the main priority. Indiana's doing okay when it comes to revenue, but they've got some challenges in there that people want to spend money that we don't necessarily have, so we got to figure all that out. The governor has a big healthcare initiative.
What money don't we have? I thought we had like a major surplus, Abdul.
We technically, if you add all the numbers together, we have a $6 billion surplus. However, not all that $6 billion is for surplus purposes. You got to have money set aside for your pensions, other programs. So it's really only about actually $2 billion.
And since when does not having enough money ever stop the government from spending it?
I would say in Indiana since 2005, since Mitch Daniels got elected governor.
Okay, so it is a budget year. What are going to be some of the headlines coming out of this session? Some of the things that are going to get people talking around the dinner table.
Actually, I think it's a smaller stuff because obviously, states got to pass budgets, so no one really gets excited over a budget except like me or Rob Kendall or somebody like that. I think it's going to be what do they do with education? What do they do with? Do they make school boards partisan elections? And so you got to elect school board members in primaries. And I think that's going to be a possible topic of conversation.
With education, let me stop you right there. One of the things that we're kind of hearing through the grapevine is that Governor Holcomb might be all in on free textbooks for the students. And where would that money come from?
Basically, it would come from the state budget because it would be like $180 million, I think, and some change annually. Because the governor's made it perfectly clear, and I never understood this either, why students are charged a textbook rental fee. It's one thing if you're in college, I get that. But if you're in grammar school or elementary school or high school, I've never understood that. And it's been a big pain in the butt for a lot of parents. So that I'm all for getting rid of that textbook fee and having either the school pick it up or the state pick it up.
I know this is a totally separate subject, but is there a bigger scam than college textbooks? Because you end up having to buy this stupid book written by your professor that was just printed off at Kinko's for like $100, and you try to return it, and if you get anything, you get $5. It's a total scam.
Well, you see, this is why you get to do what I did during college, which was I did not buy my textbooks. I rented them from people who had taken the class before.
Right.
Or if
you can find them used, though.
Or if I bought the textbook, then I would just rent it out over the course of the next 2-3 semesters and get my money back.
Okay. Sorry to derail us right there, but the college textbook thing is a total scam.
Well, you're going to have to experience it here this next year, Hammer, with your kid going to college.
But you could be like writing Dangerfield and back to school. Look, these books already been read. They also already been underlined. So what? The guy who underlined them, he could have been a maniac. Yeah. Hey, new textbooks for everybody.
Great reference.
I think a couple of those pennants.
Great reference. I'd like to tame your shrew.
I'd like to tame your shrew. Exactly.
I know you. You're big and fat.
Yeah, and you're short and ugly. Get my pen back.
Abdul Hakeem Shabazz with us. It feels like we have to ask this question every time the lawmakers get together. Legal weed, where are we at?
Interesting, because I just interviewed Indiana Normal. They're the people who want to normalize marijuana laws here in Indiana. They feel more positive about it now than they ever have before. I don't think
they just said that because they're high.
They're pretty much sober when I interviewed them. Me, that was one who was toked up at the time.
Are you the one that gets in the elevator that takes us down to the parking garage, Abdul? Because when Nigel and I leave here every evening, you would think that weed was legal in the city of Indianapolis, in the state of Indiana.
Well, I just do edibles, so I don't do the smoking stuff. So I just smoke cigars. Just kidding. No, they feel better about the subject. Like I said, we had poll after poll, 80% of the population in Indiana supports either recreational or medicinal. There's only like a handful of opposition in the State House, but I do think we'll probably see some movement on legalized marijuana, particularly either medicinal marijuana or, for that matter, you'll see them start to put a procedure in place so when it does become legal, all you gotta do is just flip the switch and go.
What about the property tax stuff, man? It seems like Hoosiers are going to start running into a real problem here coming up.
We'll know for sure about property taxes at the end of the month, because by then the Department of Local Government and Finance will put out all the rates. And so then once you get the rates, you know what your property taxes are. But I did a conversation with David Bodoff. He's the head of the Association of Indiana Counties. They just did a big property tax study survey, and this will be on the show tomorrow and also online tomorrow at noon. What they did was they did a study, and they found your property tax bill will probably go up on average, and this is average, between 5 and 8%. Obviously, some will be lower than 5, some will be more than 8, but that's what they're looking at sort of right now. And unfortunately, there's really nothing lawmakers can do about your property tax bills now, because it's going to be too late, unless they give you like a property tax credit on your tax bill. But the question is, it's the assessments on one hand, it's the tax bill on the other hand, and so you can't mess with one without messing with the other, and it's really complicated.
But they say it's too late now. I think a lot of people saw this problem coming. Why didn't they address this earlier?
Well, first of all, they weren't in the session at the time.
Right, but you have to have a plan in place, though. Like, once you get to session, this is what we're going to do day one to make sure that this problem doesn't happen.
Well, the thing is, because of the anomaly of what happened with our property tax values, because you have to know the COVID and the shortage of property, or the shortage of materials and building property, that jacked up a lot of home rates. And the home rates actually went up about like 11% on average and some change. Now, with that said, you could probably do something, but what can you really do about assessments? Because let's say, here we go. Hammer and Nigel live next to each other, God forbid. Hammer does $12,000 worth of improvements on his home, but Nigel does nothing. And so let's say we're going to freeze the assessments. Fine. So you both are paying the same thing, but actually you're paying more because you didn't make any improvements on your house, whereas Nigel's actually paying less because his house is worth $12,000 more, but his assessment is the same as what it was before. So it's a lot more complicated than you think. And it's sort of like if you turn one knob over here, it's like all the little different gear shifts. You also got to turn this knob over here. So it's a little complicated.
It's a racket is what it is. You never truly you never truly own your house.
No, not to say. See, I disagree with that, because I hear that all the time. Like, if you pay property taxes, you never own your home. Well, but here's the thing. Your home gets police, your home gets fire, your home gets roads, your home gets sewers, your home gets schools. The land should be tied, the value of the land should be tied to the services that it gets. Now, there is talk about eliminating the state income tax, but that's going to be like years down the road.
Other states have done that, Texas and Florida, just to name a few. I like that idea.
Yeah, but they also had to raise their sales taxes.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I lived in Texas, no state income tax, but a fifth of Jack Daniels is like $40 or something ridiculous.
Like I said, you turn one knob,
yeah,
you in the other knob.
Hey, have you seen, before we let you go, you seen any movies lately? You're a movie buff. You seen Avatar? Did you go see that yet?
No, not yet. I'm like, who asked for Avatar 2?
Again, it's just a rip-off of Smurfs, right?
It's blue Smurfs with swords and arrows. No, the last movie we saw was Black Adam.
How was it? That was The Rock, right?
Yeah, it was okay.
It didn't do too well at the box office.
Now, DC has never done really well with his movies. DC's always done better with his TV shows, whereas Marvel's always done better with his movies.
Tell us about your show tomorrow.
Getting ready for the first day of the legislature, so we've got State Chamber, Association of Counties, Indiana Fiscal Policy Institute, and our friends from the marijuana folks.
What time?
Tomorrow, 1 o'clock.
Abdul, thank you.
That's Abdul.
Hey, thank you, gentlemen.
Nigel, ready for some beer?
Yeah, I'm ready. It's a question that doesn't really even need asking.
It's kind of a rhetorical question.
Just look at me and say, Nigel, beer, and I'll shake my head.
Beer Sample Friday, next.
My name is Kayla Sinders, and I work for Gleaners Food Bank. I am a local service manager for 3 counties in our 21-county service area, and I nominated Katie.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities that use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My name is Katie Wilkerson. I pick up at the mobile food pantries. The best part of volunteering to hand someone some food and see the smile on their face, the relief. Without my vehicle, there's no way I'd be able to do this. To go to any of the pantries, it's at least 18 miles.
Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because now at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep vehicles like theirs and yours on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more. As well as Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
Jiffy Lube accepts competitors' coupons, so you don't have to choose between saving a few dollars versus treating your vehicle to Jiffy Lube's award-winning service. Click on JiffyLubeIndiana.com for a Jiffy Lube near you.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight guaranteed, only $49.99. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. This hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Thursday, January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking 8 p.m. And Saturday, January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call. Having 38,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Home shows provide homeowners the deepest discounts of the year on remodeling projects. And right now, Window Nation is bringing the home show savings right into your house. 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, no limit. Plus, pay no interest for 60 months.
Use their free virtual visualizer at windownation.com/homeshow. Upload a picture of your house and try out hundreds of options online. Get design tips from the experts and learn how Window Nation's trained installation specialists have helped over 150,000 homes with over 96% customer satisfaction rates. But remember, these once-a-year home show savings are for a very limited time. Call Window Nation today, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com/homeshow. Get 2 windows free with every 2 that you buy. Pay no interest for 60 months. That's 5 full years. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com/homeshow.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service? Do you need to find a well-trained dealer like Marshall Mechanical in Franklin? We'll find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit MAD.org.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, a little bit of light out there, but we do have slow spots like on the east side, southbound 465, slow. 70 down to Arlington Avenue. Inbound 65 slows up west to Meridian Penn. And south side, westbound 465 slow roll 65 over 231. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
37 right now at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Right now,
Hammer and Nigel present
beer sample.
Fry.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beers on sale, people. Come down, get you some.
Yeah, thanks to our sponsors, Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. It's because of Spencer and those guys. We can do this segment. In fact, I just placed a huge beer order delivery on their dime.
Oh.
I had to get it. They wouldn't deliver it to our offices, so it's all coming to my house tomorrow.
Oh, of course it is.
We're going to be good. But
and the chances that I'll see any of this are what? About the same as Matt Gaetz getting his way?
Yeah, but you and I walked in the office the other day. We're not going to try beer this time. We walked in our office and we had these 2 baseball bat-looking bottles of vodka, and it's called Hall of Fame vodka. And we were both scratching our heads like, who sent us this? What in the world? Hall of Fame spirit. It's not available in Indiana. And then it hit me. I remembered I interviewed a guy named Bubba Draper while you were gone in December. He's a liquor industry expert. We just generally were talking about how well the liquor industry is recession proof, how it's inflation proof, how it's pandemic proof, and how all the reasons why that industry did so well.
I spent a lot of money during the pandemic, man.
So we walk in our office and I forgot that I talked to Bubba Draper, and this is his vodka, and you could go back to the archives to listen to it here. But Hall of Fame vodka, made in the USA,
and it comes in like a baseball bat kind of container.
And I've been dying to try this here.
So we're going to do a little vodka here.
Yeah, so it's not beer, but this is like the good stuff vodka. This is not like your typical the
stuff I drank in college.
Not the stuff that you comes in a plastic jug that costs $5. Cheers to Hall of Fame vodka. Cheers to
my
Bubba
friends.
Draper for getting this to us. It's delicious. So smooth.
Goes right down.
I mean, it is unbelievable. And it's gluten-free. They don't use additives or anything. So thanks to Bubba. That was delicious. If you could get your hands on a Hall of Fame bottle of Hall of Fame vodka, by all means do so. We have an entire hour of the Hammer and Nigel show coming up next, 93 WIBC.
Every small business owner knows business happens everywhere,